I've been listening, but I haven't
Jeff.
really read anything.
Jeff
Lucky, are you talking
has.
about SE?
Is
I thought
SE
you were
in
saying
it?
SE.
SE's not in here. He's not. He's
I
not
thought
come.
you
Oh,
said SE.
He's not turned up. Dave seeing people.
It's not turn up.
I haven't seen what's going on.
Right. You know Jeff, the main surveyor. This is mainly what we're doing today. Are you live, Cleary? Are you on? Going?
I'm
Plague?
working on it now.
How are you?
Hang on.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay.
I'm live.
Okay. Well, what we?
So is Jeff the main surveyor for sure?
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
Well, no, he said that before, right? There was no surprise about that. That's what they were calling him
Oh, it's Thursday. Yeah.
on Twitter ages ago. But he's put out a video, right? And we're going to go over it because he claims to be a surveyor. Let me get a tweet out as well, because he does claim to be a surveyor. And if you claim to be a surveyor, then you'd hope that most people know, or you'd hope that you know what you're talking about. So we're just going to go over it, right?
Same guy that everyone calls the main surveyor?
Yeah, that's the fella. The one that, I've got a board, and, we ask people if they've got any evidence of curvature of the level, like is claimed within their model. Well, he's the main cited man for proof of curvature of the level. That's Jeff, the main surveyor, right? So he's their top cited guy, but he has been mentored through this system by Jesse Kozlowski and Larry. I don't know what his name is. Larry
Scott.
Oh yeah. Live now, talking about surveillance.
Not to be confused with Scott Veach.
Oh right, yeah, that's it. Oh, we're going to go over that. Have you heard about that as well, Dave? Look here. Did you hear when Scott came over here the other day? Because we're going to go over that.
Son of an astronaut.
Yeah. That is one of the most interesting things I've ever seen.
I think Sheeple's Phoenix is an interesting one too.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's for another day. I mean, we just do the surveying thing. Is everybody? Are you live now, Cleary?
Yeah.
Plague, you're live.
I am.
Okay. Well, we'll get this one done quick. Screen. I've got live. Oh, we sort me video out. Oh, right.
You guys still there?
I'm still here. I'm just trying to sort out the video for you. So
Where'd
we
you go,
can get
God's
it
Scalpel?
through. It's gone quiet.
Are you not here, God's Scalpel?
Yes, I'm here. Are you happy now?
He spoke live. It's a miracle.
I've spoke live on here before.
Right.
You've been speaking all day.
I
Okay.
spoke live lots. You guys have me featured. If I do it all, the be anything special. Gotta make
We'll call it the God Scalpel Show.
Okay, so now we're doing this for educational purposes, right? No copyright infringements and all of that. We'll try and keep it in short and sweet. This is video from. Have you guys looking in? Can you see my screen? I think.
Oh, I better click on it. Yeah.
Yeah, go on, because we're give him all his credits and all of that now, so everyone knows where to come.
Yeah, we're just reviewing this video. We're not trying to rip anybody's images off.
No.
Trying to be constructive and productive.
It is 3 days ago we did this video, October 12th. We're doing it 3 days after. And he says, observing curvature through two different instruments. Wild Heerbrugg NA24 auto level. I'm sure that NA is Leica. I'm sure that's what I heard that guy talking about it. You know, I think this Wild Heerbrug may be a subsidiary of Leica, the auto level, and a Wild Heerbrug T2 theodolite. And the elevation of the crosshair,
right?
the elevation of the horizontal crosshair in each instrument is 77.56 feet. Okay, so he has obviously, see the picture there, he's got an auto level set up on one side, and
time in over a year.
oh, I don't want to be doing that. And then he's got this T2. So they're both like on the same bit of path, really, very close to each other. And what he does is he measures the height of the. Have you ever seen anyone do that, Dave? So you've in all of your time when you've seen people doing things. Have you ever seen anybody measuring the height of the eyepiece
Wow.
on an auto level?
He may be a little busy, but
Yeah. And then
yeah,
he goes
that's not
over
generally what's done.
goes over to this one.
No, I've never seen
And he
that.
also measures the height to the side of his theodolite. Maybe just to establish that they're both the same sort of height. I mean, you could have measured a rod, couldn't you? You measured a point in the middle, and then you would have known what reading you got from both of them, and then that would have been your relative height of the horizontal. But I mean,
Yeah,
different.
does that matter that much? Because I mean, what if the concrete on one is higher than the other? It's sloped or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
get
Like,
what he's trying
like
to
I say,
prove
if
there.
you'd have put a measuring rod here and sighted that from both of them, you would have had a better reading, wouldn't you? If that's supposing you've put your horizontals at the right point anyway. So
Yeah.
You
So-
never see the tape measure touching the ground either. You know, he just holds it up in front of the camera,
yeah,
so you don't know that that's an accurate height anyway.
looks like a wooden rule to me, but yeah. Like you never see what the bottom is. Now you can see what he's doing here is he's got these two instruments, surveying tools for establishing a horizontal plane of reference, and he's took them to a place like, I don't know, and he's just looking over the water.
I think it's the coast of Maine
Yeah,
or maybe Connecticut.
yeah, he's just looking off into the distance at a lighthouse that he sees. Because I mean,
And
I
you
don't
wouldn't, you wouldn't
actually-
stray too far from where you live or where you work, would you, to go and do this kind of observation?
well, I mean, it's just literally, it's just looking. He's looking over some water at a lighthouse. So you look through, and you see a lighthouse with the crosshairs. Okay, that's the image through the auto level. There you go, a bit clearer. That's the horizontal there, and these are the stadia lines there. So the horizontal is like a bit of a cursor there. Can you see that cursor? It's about a cursor away from the thing. So he does that. Obviously, that's it. All he does is just looks at a lighthouse through the crosshairs. He's probably talking about something. And then we go over to this, and we look through it. It's inverted. And there, so you can see this would be the horizontal. It's obviously the image is upside down, but there's obviously a gap, but it's not the same sort of gap. It's a little bit different. So obviously the stadia hair here, the Stadia are the
I
same.
wonder why you just wouldn't flip it over, you know? It'd be a lot easier to compare the two images.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is obviously different. There's a little bit of magnification change. And then he goes on to look through this sighting one here at the side. And he shows that it is 90 to 70. So that is the adjustment to show that it is horizontal. Okay? So he's took two tools that he's listed at the beginning to the side of the water and looking out at a lighthouse in the water through both of the tools, observing curvature as he calls it. Now I don't want to play too much, but I mean that's it basically. There's nothing else. He does a bit of talking, so right, I'll come off that. No need for me to share my screen anymore. We'll come on to the Discord. Live stream text, guys, yeah? How's that sound?
Yep.
So, we took these images and gave them to our guy with the thing. So I took these two images and inverted the other one. So this is the original auto level. Let me get rid of that screen. Stop streaming. Here's the original. There we go. There is the original with the crosshair a tiny bit above it, and here is the other one with the crosshair a lot further above it. But what we do, these Stadia hairs, top and bottom, are at a ratio of 1 to 100. They're nearly always. I can't see why this one, any of these would be any different. So in order to adjust the images, because you've got Stadia hairs, you just increase the image to make the magnification the same, to make these tops of these Stadia hairs the same, and then you have the same magnification within the image in relation to the Stadia hairs, and the crosshair would be in the middle. So that's what we did. We gave it to DP, and he sorted these two images out to show this one. Now, the difference between these two, once you've adjusted the Stadia hairs, is nearly a full lighthouse difference. Now,
Yep, a full height of a lighthouse difference, right?
yeah. Oh, over the distance that he had. I think he said 9 miles that from one to the other.
Yeah.
Raki, are you there still? Or have you gone? Because this occurred to me that...
No, I'm here.
Can you see that? What's happened, right? He's took these two different devices on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And looked in the distance. Now, can you see the difference that the horizontal of these two tools has come to in that last picture? Does that not look very similar to what George once gave you, where the image in the distance was different?
Well, the only difference I would say with George's is that he told me, now I don't know this for sure, but he told me that it was different days and different times of the day, and this seems to be at the same exact time. The only difference is two different tools.
Yeah. Now,
But
would you expect those two different tools to have two different horizontals, right? To such a varying degree?
no, I wouldn't. If they're on the same level plane, like that's why I was questioning his surface. If one's higher than the other, or if one's not as level as the other over that distance, your horizontal would be much higher or lower.
but not to the extent where you would be a full lighthouse out over that
No way.
distance, right? So, what conclusion would you like to come to as to why there are two such drastically different horizontals in these two tools that are
Personally-
set to establish a horizontal?
Yeah, personally, I think that one image is a lot cloudier. It seems to have a lot more refraction. The other image is a little bit clearer.
I had to drop the opacity out on one of them
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
to get the.
They're
it's-
taken at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly the same time.
Yeah, I think it's just the different lenses.
Establishing
And-
a different horizontal? I would say one of the tools is not set to horizontal.
Not
Yeah, that
calibrated
makes
or
sense.
not set to horizontal.
Yeah. And considering this is from a channel called The Main Surveyor, wouldn't you think that a surveyor should notice that the two horizontals don't seem to be the same? And that would be a big problem if you were an actual surveyor, wouldn't it?
If you were doing this for money right here, it would be a big problem.
Yeah. And would you think, for an instance, if you were a real surveyor, it would be a pretty big faux pas, wouldn't it, to put down the tools that you were using and then say that you set them up correctly and put an image out like that with such... I don't know. It's not funny because...
Look at the original images above there. There's a really big difference in image quality on those
There's a
two.
lot of funky things going on here. But you got to understand now, he's taking a picture through the lens, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Different older lenses,
Mhm.
So the quality.
Well,
is
it's not.
really
Yeah, it's not
what
even a
we're-
picture. It's just a video. He put his camera while he was making the video up to the lens, and we took a
Oh, okay.
screenshot of it. Right.
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 So
So the,
obviously, either he doesn't know what he's doing, the equipment wasn't set up properly. I can't imagine what the difference would be. Except, honestly, these instruments are not designed to look this far either.
yeah, well,
Why would a
the
surveyor
three
do that?
questions, right? Question one: what was he doing? Like he says, he's looking at curvature, but I mean, I can't see any curvature there, other than there seems to be a left to right curvature. Like whatever's in the middle of the image seems to pop up. I mean, that surely can't mean curvature left to right, can he? Although it
It's
does
just
look like there's a
distortion.
curvature left to right.
Yeah, that lens distortion.
That's
ahead.
atmospheric distortion and lens distortion.
Yeah.
That's not curvature.
Right, so he's not doing that. He's not finding that. So he's took these two tools out to the water to look at a lighthouse. And you don't do that. You get a camera if that's what you're after. But I mean, he's took two surveying tools out, looked at the lighthouse, and found two completely separate horizontals. But he's not noticed that because he's happy that he's observing curvature.
Yeah, one-track mind.
Two different curvatures, if that's what he's observing. But I mean, how you measure a curvature with a horizontal, I haven't got a clue. How you observe the curvature with a horizontal, not got a clue. The only thing that is clear here is there are two different horizontals in this video. So which of them establishes the real horizontal? I don't know. I've advised him to take this down because it's not good for the tools. The manufacturer of these instruments wouldn't be happy with that.
Well, it's not a good look for a surveyor to be looking out across the ocean 9 miles. What technique do you call that? There's no technique for that. It's not oceanic leveling, okay? I mean, it's not differential leveling. It's not reciprocal leveling.
It's not
This is not what you
trigonometrical
do.
leveling.
Yeah. This is not what you do with this equipment.
No.
Yeah, this is not at all what the equipment is designed to do. And it would be my opinion that the two instruments are set up at two different elevations, like the slope of that land that he's on, the concrete that he's on, that parking lot is sloped. So whichever crosshair is higher, that equipment is on the higher end of that slope.
Well, it wouldn't be that much. It
Yeah, I
couldn't
don't think it would be
possibly
that
be
much.
that much. No, it's the height of a lighthouse difference.
Yeah, it's a lot over distance. It's something going on. But when I looked at the equipment and the setup, you know, I would just say it's not the type of equipment I would expect a main surveyor to bring.
Well, he's got two different instruments, right? You can't put a laser level there because you can't see it, right? You need a receiver or something at the other end of a laser. But I mean, it's perfectly valid to do that. You know, look out for. I mean, he can't measure anything because that's what you need, a measuring rod at the other end, don't you? I mean, what's the? But yeah, to have two different horizontals and not spot it and pretend to be a surveyor, that's about as big a faux pas as you can get, as far as I'm concerned. So Jeff.
So he didn't give a reason, or he didn't notice.
Yeah, they're two different. Yeah, because they're two different instruments. That was
No,
his
but he
excuse.
didn't know. He didn't comment on his video that they're, you know,
Yeah.
he didn't give a reason for it.
They're still above. That's what he said. They're still above, and therefore
That's what he
curvature.
said.
Yeah, curvature is pretty much all he said.
Oh,
Actually.
he's saying that because the crosshair is higher than the lighthouse, that's curvature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even though his textbook, I don't know if we have that to show, but
Well, we'll go to his video. I'm on here, so here's the comments. What a load of utter nonsense! Somebody called Domesticated Primate has been talking to him, and he says, "Are you suggesting that horizontal isn't horizontal?" Well, I would definitely be suggesting that one of them isn't horizontal, seeing as they're both different. They both can't be horizontal. It's impossible. And then, like, DP says, remove the video. And he says, you want this video removed because even you must understand the significance of what is presented. Even though different instruments are different, even though the auto level isn't nearly as accurate or as sensitive as the theodolite, both instruments clearly show that the lighthouse is taller than the crosshairs at the center of each scope, are significantly below the crosshairs in both instruments. This flies on the face of anyone who thinks the surface of liquid water doesn't curve. Do you want me to do that again? Because that was even confused me.
Wait, is that Jeff saying that?
That's Jeff. Yeah, that's a reply to DP. Yeah.
Oh yeah, read that again.
Here we go. Even though different instruments are different, brilliant, genius. Even though the auto level isn't nearly as accurate or as sensitive as the theodolite, well, it is. I've been told for establishing a horizontal, it's more accurate than a theodolite, and we're not bothered about them being sensitive. Poor little theodolite. Both instruments clearly show that lighthouses, taller than the crosshairs at the center of each scope. Both instruments clearly show that lighthouses, taller than the crosshairs at the center of each scope. Taller. What's that mean? What's he talking about? I'm trying to get the
Yeah, he's got an ass backwards.
the taller.
Oh, he's saying.
Oh, is he looking at the other one upside down?
No, he's saying his vertical position on the horizontal plane is lower than the lighthouses are.
Taller than the
From the sea
he
level.
calls it taller.
Mm-hmm.
Taller than the crosshairs at the center of each scope are significantly below the crosshairs in. Oh no, I think what he's saying is that something about the lighthouse's actual size being above where the crosshair is supposedly are elevation wise on this
In
side.
the physical
Yeah.
lens. Yeah.
And the crosses.
So the lighthouses are physically taller than
From the sea level.
than the location where he is measuring.
Yeah,
where
from
he
the
is
elevation of
sighting
the crosshairs of the scopes are.
from.
Okay, so yeah, he's just said that lighthouse over there is at such and such an elevation, and the top of it is at such and such an elevation. My crosshairs
he
are
claims-
at such and such an elevation.
He's claiming to be at like 78 feet. So say the lighthouses are 88 feet. So they would be that 10 foot taller than his location. Yeah.
Seems like he's suffering from Miles Davis-itis.
Right, so this flies on the face. This flies on the face. I don't understand that. I don't think he's got that quite right.
Flies in the face.
Yeah, you get flies on your face. Flies.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Obama, yeah.
Flies on the face of anyone who thinks the surface of liquid water doesn't curve. Right, so is he saying that if you think the surface of liquid water doesn't curve, this flies on the face of anyone who thinks the surface of liquid water doesn't curve?
I don't know. Do you see a hump out there, or is he thinking he's seeing a drop out there? Because I don't see any hidden lighthouse at all. Is he trying to say there's a curve, but there's no obstruction of the lighthouse or the ground or anything?
And if you take that in context to the comment that was made, there was absolutely no mention of curving water or otherwise in the comment. It
yeah,
was
and
just
you said
a comment.
that's exactly what you are demonstrating. According to you, these devices do not show the same horizontal, which is true. Do yourself a favour and remove the video. I mean, what's wrong with that? And then he comes out with
I don't know what he's trying to insinuate there.
oh, look, Clary. The significance of this video is that you are clearly misrepresenting the profession you claim to be representing.
Is that you, Primate? I'm living rent free in your head.
Big capitals. Your baseless claims are amusing, but irrelevant. You're feeding the algorithm and driving up the views each time you come back and comment. Well, you were only commenting to point out to him, supposed real surveyor, that he had two devices showing two different horizontals.
From the same location at
from
the same time.
Yeah.
Sad.
Okay.
Sad man.
One and the other one's like pretty much next to it. You can see these bushes in the sight line.
That's an old school theodolite right there. That thing's been around the block. At least the stand has.
Oh, the stand to be an old one. That looks pretty new. That's new kit, isn't it? It's fancy.
You got to
stuff.
level that one, right? You got to make it horizontal on your own.
I'd like that one. I don't know. Oh, well, yeah, but it's just on the pins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my lad can level these up now without even touching these wheels. And do it all on the legs.
So his reasoning is that the two instruments are not as
Different.
accurate as each other, like different accuracy.
No, they're just different.
Yeah, they're
Different-
different because they're different.
Different instruments.
Oil change.
Oh, what?
Is that Rob?
Is he at work again?
What?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, do you want me to?
Yeah.
I'll just pop him onto server mute for a little while. Who was it, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob.
Right. Well,
Server mute.
that's it. We're done with Jeff now. I mean, we've told him that he's made a pretty bad mistake, and if he doesn't want to take that down, then I think he's doing a disservice to real surveyors. For one, I don't know why he decided to do that. I mean, what? Just take.
That is what he said, wasn't it? It's different because it's different.
Yeah, they are different devices, so yeah,
So
they're
they would give you
different. Yeah, they're just different.
horizon
Yeah.
heights.
I mean, what do you
levels.
expect from different tools?
Mm-hmm.
Different. Yeah, it's obvious. You're looking through a different scope. I mean, it's a. Right, we need to find. Are we going to go over Scott, or do you want to go? Do you want to do something?
What's
else
that
for
right
a
there?
bit? That was a guy who's. Oh, we was just looking over the amazing laser levels and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Seems kind of easy.
They're all about that 100 meters, though, right? I mean, some of them may go a little bit more, and he was just doing it for trying to plot the land out positions for.
Is it accurate?
Well, he was using it for plotting out a house.
Yeah.
You know, for land plots, and he said he was quite impressed because by the time you got to the laser level part of it, you're pretty much in there on the job, right? you've got fair enough away into the job that you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to be working.
I don't know if that would scale up to a mile accurately or not. Who knows?
A laser? No.
Yeah. I mean, doing increments, trying to work your way with that. It's really not what it's for, but probably just a singular point. Point of reference.
Right, okay. So, that was just a little one we thought I'd do. We only just noticed that today, so. Just a little. There we go. Now, we had the other day, was it yesterday?
No, it was the
Or
day
the
before
yesterday.
yesterday.
Wow.
Your audio is a little bit low. Let me make sure it's not me. Yep, I got you maxed out. Just a little bit low.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Right, do you want me- I'll move in a little bit closer. I can bring the
Okay.
mic in. There you go. Right, so we've got. Have you got the screen on there yet? We have
Yeah, you
Scott
got,
Veach, right? Now, does anybody want. Scott Veach, the son of an astronaut, over at Gem Pandas, decided to come over here. Maybe he was offered to come over here for a chat or a debate, or maybe I think God's Scalpel started it a bit ago, but DP decided to carry it on going, and DP got Scott Veach to come round here now. Everyone's been having a quick little look at it, have they? Anything? Because I think the first hour, there's not much in it. What about you? What do you think? Anybody
It's a
spot,
little crazy.
anybody spot any bits that like needed to go over it, or
Well, it's just a case of him reifying his model, isn't it? It's just him going backwards and forwards over the same rubbish that we all know.
yeah, I think he was running and dodging and all of that for the first bit. So, do we need?
I don't know. I got into it with him at about 34 to 44, some time period about right there.
Oh,
It's
is
kinda
that? Yeah. Well, we'll have to get that in then, right? Because that's probably quite pertinent. That too. About what did you say? 30 something.
I know it ended at 44. It might have been about 34 when it started.
Well, the truth is, we have tons and tons of evidence that
Yeah,
this is
that's
the
my
case.
truck rattling right there.
This is all
I mean,
shite.
It applies to me.
Okay,
I
but
do
is
know-
everything
I
they
do
say a
know-
lie?
I do know they are lying about a space fallacy.
Right, here we go.
I know.
How do you know that? How do you know that? You know the reason.
Right, so basically, Scott comes over, and the whole idea was it was, I don't know, like, DP, do you want to give us a build up to how it, because everybody just ascended on the server, right? There was a lot, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely they did. I mean, I was chatting with him over in Gems in the text chat during the course of the morning, and he wanted me to drop into the one-on-one over there, and I couldn't do it at that point. Just wasn't possible for me to go into the voice over there, so I said to him, I'll give you a shout when I'm free, and you come over to Emma's, as was arranged with God Scalpel a few weeks ago. And he claims that he came over a few weeks ago when God Scalpel arranged him coming over.
Really?
And he said, yeah, he reckons he came over, but there was nobody here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, whether that's true or not, I really couldn't say, but
Probably not.
you know, all we have to do is look at the server logs, but I really can't be bothered to do that. So, yeah, so basically he comes over, what was it, the day before yesterday?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. hmm I think it was the day before yesterday.
He came over hot, right? I mean, I don't know the initial debate or whatever, but I mean, he came over wanting to debate you on a 1v1.
Yeah, which wasn't the... He managed to convince himself over at Gems through the text chat that I had agreed to a 1v1. And the only thing that I agreed to was that he would come over here to Emma UK server at a time that was mutually convenient. But he had it in his head that I had agreed to a 1 versus 1 debate with him, which is fine. You know,
yeah.
I don't mind talking to him on a one-to-one basis. But yeah,
It was
so-
painful to listen to, though, to be honest with you, this first bit. But I mean, there were a few nice bits that come out of it. This is one of them that we chat about space, because we always have to go and do a little bit of foreplay, right? Yeah.
A little bit of space cadetting.
Yeah, let him play a bit. So this is basically the space conversation.
The reason you
Space
gave me was
is
because
a
they are the
fallacy.
government, which certainly implies that you think that they always lie.
Because your space is a fallacy.
How do you know that?
Your space.
I mean, we have so
is
much evidence
a
that it's
fallacy.
real.
There is no.
I heard you say it the
Big
first
Chief.
time.
There
There's
is
tons of
no
evidence. There's pictures. There's eyewitness testimony. People go and come back and tell us about it.
Only a child would
You
believe that
realize?
bullshit.
There's pictures of Santa
Can I say
Claus,
that again? I couldn't-
You see that? You say that again? What? Somebody took on me a child? What? It's like, that little comment from Cleary in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you started off, DP, with it's a fallacy. And it's like, show me one. And it's like, like, why do you have to show him a fallacy? Surely he knows him. And then he's got pictures and eyewitness testimony and people have come back and said it. You know who he's talking about. That's why Cleary talking about the child bit now, right?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
I understand you. What did you say? People what? The guy that was talking right there, something about bullshit, what?
I said only a child would believe that bullshit.
Well, it's not true, actually. Lots and lots of adults think that space is real. In fact,
No, you're a
I
man
would contend
child.
that I would contend that most people, I think the vast majority of people would say the other way around, told the position that you hold is childish. But whether it's childish or not, the truth is that space is real. The truth is that we can go there. The truth is we have
That
tons
damn
and
truck,
tons
I
of
swear.
evidence that this is the case.
Oh, this is all
I mean,
shite,
on
man.
some level,
If you were the son of an astronaut,
how so?
If you were the son of an astronaut, what are you doing on YouTube?
You don't think I'm the son of an astronaut? I'm not on YouTube 24 hours a day. I work.
You don't sound like you're working.
No, he just sits in.
Well, I'm not working right now. It's still only 8 a.m. my time, and I'm not gonna probably work till about noon or 1, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Can I just go back over that? Does he say he is the son of an astronaut or not?
Mm-hmm.
Does he?
Yeah, he said it many, many times.
I know he has said it, but I mean, does he say it in here?
I don't know.
Because they are the government, which certainly implies that you think that they always lie.
Because
too much.
You don't think I'm the son of an astronaut? I'm not on YouTube 24 hours a day. I work.
You don't sound like you're working.
Yeah.
No, he just sits in
Well, I'm not working right now. It's still only 8 a.m. my time, and I'm not gonna probably work till about noon or 1, so I'm good.
Yeah, you're the
Maybe
son of an
2.
actor.
We'll see.
Son of an actor.
You think I'm not the son of an astronaut, really? You think I'm lying about that?
I don't know you, but you're on YouTube all the time.
No, I'm not. I'm on YouTube probably maybe 3 or 4 hours a day, usually from midnight to 4. During the day, it's hard to find me. In fact, it's very unusual.
What do you do on YouTube, Vici? I've never seen you.
Oh, I'm actually not. I'm sorry, not YouTube, but Discord is what he really means.
No, he doesn't, does he? Because it's live on YouTube, isn't it, all the time?
Yeah, same thing,
Yeah.
pretty much.
3-4 hours a day.
Yeah, probably something like 2 to 3, something like that. Usually, put it on when I'm here, and I'll start doing work, or I'll start doing a game, or
So
just
who was I chatting with who was I having that back and forth with in Gem server earlier? Then, if it wasn't you.
No, that was me. I usually get around midnight. I've been here for a long time.
That was like 5 hours.
I'm way past.
And you
I
say
know, I'm
you
way
want me
past my normal
2 or
time 'cause of
3
you.
hours.
Because we set a time that was late. Yes, I said usually here 2 or 3 hours. This is a definite.
How long are we on here now? What, have we got past it? 36? Is there a bit
That's
more
it.
yet?
That is at 44, yeah.
All right, okay.
Definitely a long day for me right now.
2 or 3 hours.
I'm not saying it's never happened.
Okay.
It's pretty
Well,
good,
anyway,
actually.
let's get away from.
I don't know what you think. I don't know what you think. Hold on, let me respond to the guy though. I don't know what you think would make it so. I don't know what would make my life so magical if I was the son of an astronaut that I would never come on Discord, but it's just not the case. my dad happened to go to space twice. He worked for NASA. He was an astronaut. It ain't that big a deal. It certainly
like I
doesn't
told
mean
you,
that
man.
I'm not like you or.
Like I told you, he was MK Ultra. That's what he believes happened, but that's not
It's a
reality.
pretty silly thing to think, though. I mean, it'd be hard to MK Ultra somebody to really believe that, don't you think?
This is a pretty vital part, right? It would be hard to MK Ultra somebody to get them to think something. Well, isn't that what MK Ultra is? It's like to get people to think. Like you wouldn't know. That would be the point of it. I mean, like if you'd been MK Ultra'd into believing that you lived on a big spinning space ball, then you might be led to say some really weird things, but you wouldn't know.
No. That's the whole part of the program, the mind fuckery.
Yeah, it's like Brian says about his mate with that's been hypnotized about the eating an onion. He got to eat an onion, but he still thinks it's an apple.
Oh yeah.
Right, well that's just the same as MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. You would never know.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you've had that done to you as a child. Not saying it MK Ultra, just sort of had it drummed into you. Space.
Yeah.
Space. Dad's been to space. Here's pictures from space. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, most people normally just have the, ears looking at a globe and all of that sort of stuff. But
Well, my very next door neighbor, growing up for 15 years, whatever, 12 years in the house, he was an astronaut, and that's what I was talking to him about one time. His dad, Beach's dad, was an astronaut. My neighbor was an astronaut, but I don't believe either one of them ever went to space. I think they were in a system where, maybe they thought they went, maybe they knew they didn't go. I don't know. But we all know that it's a second law of thermodynamics violation. So, anyway, it's not a place you can go to. Are you guys still there?
yeah, sorry, I had to let the cat out.
I was like,
I was
whoops.
going to get
Hope I'm
whinging
still
at-
connected.
Right, carry on anyway.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of the world
Okay,
of science
okay.
fiction and fantasy.
Maybe you're MK Ultra.
I mean, I knew the guy, maybe, but I knew the guy, right? Like,
Maybe,
I'm
yeah,
telling
you are, man.
the level of achievement, and intelligence. I mean, these guys are not the kind of.
The ease that he said maybe then and just carried on.
He knew the guy.
Yeah, maybe you. No, you said maybe you've been MK Ultras, and he went maybe. Just carried on.
Yep.
He can say that easily. He maybe have been MK Ultra, but listen, well, later on, just bear that in mind for later on, when he comes out with how sure he is of certain things. When he can also have a maybe said that easily for being MK Ultra.
Guys
I
that,
know they're not the kind of
easily
guys who
swayed.
sit around on Discord 24 hours a day.
Well,
You know?
I don't think anyone sits on Discord 24 hours a day. I don't know who you are, but I think you'll find that
You keep saying you don't know who
clearly
I
have
am,
a lot
but you
more.
do know who I am.
I don't know who you are. You have to tell me your
Yeah,
name.
you do.
I don't know who you are, dude. I do not recognize your voice. I'm sorry. I don't know if are you a big deal? Who is it?
Bigger than you, man.
I don't doubt it, but I don't know your name. Who are you? Just tell me your name. I'll recognize it if you say
He's
it.
too lazy to read.
Well, I guess you can't see anything. My name is Quick.
Are you a big deal? Can I just check?
Apparently, people are writing rap songs about me.
You
so, yeah.
you didn't answer that. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I said bigger
Yes.
than you.
Yeah, super chat just come in. Cleary, are you a big deal? Scott demands an answer.
I think you're a big mouth.
That's for damn sure.
Are you one of the 10 most intellectual person on this planet? Question from PhD Tony.
Do you represent your country in mind sports?
Yeah.
Cleary.
It's
No, I
Cleary.
know, I'm
Who's
sorry. I
Cleary?
just don't-
Yeah,
Who the fuck's
that's fine.
that?
That's great. I'm
It's
glad. I
probably
like it
because
that
I'm
way.
not paying enough attention.
Yeah.
It's probably because I'm not paying enough attention. I mean, we've never
Yeah.
talked before, have we?
We've
You and I have?
we texted back and forth.
But I've never heard your voice, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we must have just missed each other somehow. But in any event, I don't know why you're being so rude to me, given that we don't know each other.
Rude? I'm not being rude. You're talking
Yeah,
about
rude.
childhood fantasies.
Yeah, you are.
You don't recognize that?
No, you're telling me that I'm a liar or that I'm MK
No,
Ultra.
I'm not.
That's rude.
I said you're MK Ultra. I didn't say you were a liar. Your father was MK
Yeah, you
Ultra.
did.
Apparently, you are too.
No, first you said that, and then when I started pushing on it, you switched to saying, "Well, he's probably MK Ultra," and then you switched to saying, "I'm probably MK Ultra."
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
I mean,
At no point did he
think about
say.
it.
At
Just
no
think about
point
it.
did he say that either one of you were liars, Mr. Beach.
At the very beginning, he did. He did. He said
No, he
your
didn't.
dad is an actor. He said
Well,
your dad is an actor.
that's not-
I'm sorry, I have to get that one. I heard him say that. Right,
Yeah.
so he knows that whenever you talk about actors, they're liars. That's what he associates with an actor, a liar.
Hey Bev, can you unmute Rob Keane? Rob, you were hot micing in the mechanic
That's
shop
right,
there
I've
a
got
while
it.
ago
I got it.
on the live stream there. We had to mute you.
Yeah. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah,
a
man.
bit of background noise going on.
So
Yeah.
actors
Yeah.
are liars. That's another thing we've established from now. From Scott. Liar.
He's a Hollywood guy. Oh no, where'd I do?
You heard
Oh,
that?
if my dad was an actor and not an astronaut, then he would be lying, wouldn't he?
Well, you're
That's
in
the
Hollywood,
definition of
so
a
I figured
liar,
maybe,
isn't it?
That would seem more like
I'm
a
in
family
Hollywood.
tradition since you're in Hollywood.
See,
You're
he's doing it
an
again, calling him a liar
Yeah,
again.
well, you are in Hollywood, aren't you?
Yeah, see?
You're
Yeah.
a member,
Yeah.
you're a member of that
So why is
guild
that a
of
lie?
actors, aren't you?
That's not a lie, but to say that my dad is an actor is a lie.
What's that guild, that actors guild in Hollywood? I forgot what it's called.
SAG is what you're
When
thinking.
when your dad was an astronaut, did he act like an astronaut or did he act like a plumber?
You act like a nerd.
Okay, so he's an actor.
They're all super nerdy. I'm telling you, the astronaut, the idea of an astronaut that you have maybe from like, I don't know, Apollo 13
My neighbor was an
could
astronaut.
not be farther from the truth.
My neighbor was an astronaut.
Okay,
I've
who
told
was
you
it?
that before.
Who was he?
Rich Clifford. You said they probably knew each other.
Oh, yeah, I remember you then. I remember you.
Yeah, you do.
The guy from Florida, right? You're from Florida.
Max.
Well, yeah, you were reasonable before. Why are you being a dick now?
You think of being a dick because you're losing. That's all right, though.
Yeah. How am I losing? You're calling my dad a liar, and you're calling me
He
a liar.
never
Like you
called
call
your
my
dad
dad
a
additionally a liar. How is
Mr.
that
Beach.
losing?
Mr. Beach,
You're being insulting, is what's
He
happening.
never called your dad a liar now, did he?
Well, let me ask you a question. When somebody says your dad was
He
an
never
actor,
called
when I say he
your
was an
dad
astronaut,
a liar.
let me ask you a question. When he says your dad was an actor, when I say he was an astronaut, what is he saying there?
Did he
was
say
He's saying
acting
your
like an
dad was
astronaut.
is a
pretending.
liar?
Your dad was pretending to be something that he wasn't he? Is that what the implication of that is?
Everyone acts.
That is calling somebody a liar.
Everyone acts all day long.
That's what he's doing. That's the point
But
of
you're
it.
acting
If you guys want to,
defensive,
you can
right?
juvenile.
Are
I mean,
you,
this is the most juvenile sort of
Are you
defense I've ever
defensive
heard.
and you got to
It's
talk
the,
over
I didn't
everything?
use the word
Is that what you
liar.
do?
If you're saying something,
He's doing that big obfuscation thing again, right? You're saying that when you said he was a liar, I say you meant actor. And when
Actor,
you actor, liar, same thing. You're calling him a liar.
Yeah.
Anything to stay off of the subjects he's here to talk about.
Yeah, he gets that machine gun mouth going like rumpus, you know, and tries to shut your mic down, you know. You just got to battle back like that with the same nonstop jabber.
I remember this point. This was the point where I was messaging Bev going, oh, man, just ask him the question. Let's get back on point.
Yeah, I think he needed to do this, though, you know, like he needed to do, because this is his area, right? Space, pictures from space, testimony from eyewitness testimony from space. That's what he's got, and
Well,
he's not doing very well.
You sent me a DM, didn't you? Saying
think so, yeah.
To get it back on point. And, you know, I was like, well, why? And just let him run for now.
Yeah.
Just, you know, we've got time. Let him do his thing. Let him say what he's got to say and then pull him back later. Just let him go on his little fantasy.
It was
good. You guys are just way more patient than I am. I wanted to hear the good stuff. I mean, this was good too.
Well, we get there in the end, right? So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
this is one of those Logos things, right? That at the time it was painful as hell to sit through, but it seemed to soften him up. He seemed to come around to, let's say, to the end bit. Like he was dodging and weaving. I think he tired out after a while. How much more have we got left of this, Clary? Another 2 or 3 minutes of this.
It's just kind of screaming back and forth there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Might want to jump forward somewhere else.
That was that bit, was it, that we did?
Yeah. I don't remember what happens right now. I know I started blasting his mic and he was blasting mine, and I don't remember what happened after that. But it's kind of funny. I don't know.
We'll have to listen
Oh
and
my
see
God,
what we
you're
get
trying
to.
to
Are you
again?
just acting defensive?
You guys just interrupt nonstop, huh?
Yeah, like you. I
Go
talk
ahead.
over you. You talk over me. What we
I
did.
was talking first, dude. I
Are
hate
you
to break it
acting
to you, but I was
defensive,
responding
or Are you
first.
defensive? Are you defensive or are you
I'm
acting
defensive about the fact that you are calling my father and I a liar.
No, I said you're MK Ultra.
No, you said liar at first.
He never
MK
called him a
Ultra.
liar.
Okay, so can I finish what I was saying in response to that? Right now, here I go, and you're going to interrupt or not.
Is
It's
it
up
of
to you.
anything? Is it
But when
about
somebody
you?
says, "Oh my God, look at," see, Brian, hey, this is the problem. This is not one. This is as soon as I start talking,
Go back,
somebody's
go
interrupting.
back.
Is this a stall?
Yeah, I was shutting his mic down.
Yeah.
every time he'd go to talk, I'd shut it down. I'd say something else.
Yeah, but I mean, he is stalling, right? I don't know what he's stalling for, because there's no conversation or even progression going on here. He's backtracking, and it's as though he's, I don't know, it's like he's stalling for something, but I don't know what he's waiting for. Would this be at Gems? Normally, at some point, would somebody else jump in to save him when he's like this? I'm just thinking, like, you know, the tactics that happens normally.
Yeah, they might mute you, or, you know, like, if it was a biased moderator, of course, they're going to mute me and let him run his mouth for 5 minutes. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You little. Go ahead.
Oh, you little what?
Do you really want me to say it?
Incredibly childish. This is you guys
going
really need to
nowhere.
grow the fuck up. So let me just make the response that I've been trying to make, but not get interrupted for like 5 minutes.
Don't talk over him. No, God, no.
Leave space alone.
It's super easy.
Let's bring it
So
back.
when I say my name is Ashford, you say,
Earth.
can I just,
You wrecked yourself. You wrecked
Can I
yourself.
say
You
my
said the
thing?
bottom of your ball was fatter than the top.
Mr.
Which is
Beach.
up and
I
down.
think it is. That's the way it
that
is.
bit was good.
That's
Clearly,
my
it
boy's
was
fairway.
Oh, that's just
That's good right there. The ball being fat on the bottom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like up and down and ever expanding space.
Oh, yeah. This
His
is
pear-shaped oblique spheroid, wasn't it?
we can put this video out. It's a 3-hour 20 video. The first.
That's huge.
The first part of it is there's a lot of this obfuscation, and it's pretty painful, to be honest.
This little part right here isn't bad though. We talk about the, but that's the end of it.
Well, we could always cut it, Bev, and do the the whole lot, and put that out, and then just separate the meat and potatoes at the end and put it out as a separate video.
Yeah, well, I say we can go over it, and all of the little bits is all separate videos and everything, right? So, do you want to carry on going over all of these bits at the beginning? Because I don't mind. I mean, this is all good stuff, and it all shows how they work. But this is I think it shows how the Globe defenders sort of choose to debate.
This is what really, in my opinion, killed him with the Globe, was this Neil deGrasse Tyson pear-shaped BS that he was running right there.
Yeah, well, that's model, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Model versus reality.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would that be stupid, Clary? Why?
Go ahead,
I mean, seriously, listen to the level of argument you have. You never have another answer after I say why. You just assert stuff, and then whenever I say why, it's dead silence. And then you'll repeat, oh, it's just dumb.
Primate's trying to talk.
Have you finished now?
Oh, now you want Primate to talk, huh, Clary?
Have you finished?
That was beautifully done, guys. Beautifully done. Like, you got him wound up, and then you just went back to DP.
Yeah. But he made me blast him. He begged for me to just destroy him right there, so I did.
Yeah. This is very nice.
Mr. Beach.
Oh, okay, buddy. I see how it is.
I could go all day, but he's trying to talk. Why don't you let him talk?
Then let's hear the why. Let's hear your why.
Mr. Beach, have you finished?
Hold on, Primate. I'm talking to Clary now. You just want to have a 1v1. Remember, you wanted everybody to jump in. Well, you're going to make a 1v1 or not? This is not a 1v1. Everyone's jumping in, and they're distracting me, so I'm distracted now. So clearly, you're going to give me an answer to why.
1v1, Mr.
You
Beach.
couldn't seem to pull that off, could you, Primate? Now, if you want to pull it off, go ahead. But until then, I'm distracted by Clary right now. So you want to give me a why, Clary?
There's no up and down in space, just like you said. So what's the bottom of
I
your
agree.
ball?
There's no up and down in space.
Why is the bottom of your ball fatter than the top of your ball when there's no up and down in space? If you don't understand that, you're a little child.
When I say bottom, I mean the traditional sort of metric of north top,
you
south
fucked
bottom.
yourself with
That's the way
that.
the globes are.
There's no backing out of it.
How is that fucking myself?
You fucked yourself.
Oh my god, are you serious? One of the hemispheres is fatter than the other. We call it the bottom usually because that's the way we make the globes.
Why is the bottom?
One of the hemispheres is fatter. We call that the
It has to be the
bottom.
mass that's there.
Because
So
it's
there's
down.
the mass below the. Hold on, and the centrifugal force of the spin. So it has to do both with how much mass is right there and how much spin is happening.
And it's going where? Down?
Out.
Out, down,
down and out.
So that slightly the bottom, or I should say, the southern half, is because of rotation. It's actually pushed out because of centrifugal force slightly more than the top.
He still said, he didn't even know.
Well, it's
What's that?
He still said the bottom of the ball is fatter.
Mm-hmm. He says there's no up and down, and then he
north and south as well
to the bottom.
He tried to say the middle was fat, but then he went ahead and carried on and said that the bottom of the ball was fat because it's down in ever expanding space. Ridiculous.
And how does, I don't even understand how the bottom of the ball is supposed to get fat. What is it? The weight of the water drops to the bottom, but there's no up or down. So
yeah, it's classic, man. That's the mindset, you know.
That bottom could be at the side,
and
nobody would really care. It's just craziness, man. It's just the mental gymnastics you have to do to.
Yeah, imagine your father being an astronaut, though. Like Bev was saying, how would you ever have a chance?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that MK Ultra thing was never true, right? As soon as you said that, it's like. Yeah, like whether it's the MK Ultra or the MK Ultra done by your parents, of that just complete and utter overdrive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad's seen it. Wow. Yeah.
Always tell people Daddy told you it's a ball, but actually his daddy did.
Yeah.
Tell him it's a ball.
Tell him it's in it. Floating around in it. Looking down. Yeah.
He must realize that it's a lie, though. I mean, why would he be on Discord like 12, 14 hours a day over in Jim Panda's server?
Well, that's where the people that will support his view, right? Everybody over there, nobody's going to challenge you over there. And if anybody does challenge you, you've got 10, 20 people to pat you on the back and say, they're wrong, Scott, they're wrong. They have to be. It curves. It all curves, Scott. It does. I think it curves too, Scott. So we can both be together. That's
it. You affirm my fantasy.
Reaffirming each other's fantasies.
Yeah. Nice.
Perfectly logical. I mean, everything.
Anyway, I don't want to walk all over Primate because you're pretty easy.
What's illogical about it?
Destroy you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to say.
It's nicely handed back over that, Cleary. Nicely done.
Well, yeah, what's illogical?
Yeah, I was really not trying to walk all over Primate, but I
slightly more out than the top.
Yeah.
The bottom.
You have to play with him. Right? You had to come for your little play, and then you're done.
I think we were having a little bit of a game of tennis here. Clearly, I was trying to reel him back, but I wasn't really interested in reeling him back at that point.
You just have the assertion.
Because I was having fun listening to you. So have you finished your monologue now, Mr. Beach?
It's hardly a monologue. That was a dialogue.
No, it was hardly a dialogue. You just overspoke.
If it was a monologue, I would have gotten through more than one sentence, don't you think?
Are you ready to bring it back down to Earth now?
I suppose. Let's see if you can do it.
Right, so you hold to your pear-shaped oblate sphere.
That's my best guess.
That's your best
That's my
guess.
best guess. Yeah. I couldn't say that 100% certainty. But I believe that to be the case. I suspect this is the case. I have confidence in it.
So apart from all your fantasy space missions and everything, it's your best guess. It's now
I don't think the space missions are fantasy. I think they're reality, and I think there's a lot of evidence in support of that.
So this is still your best guess, having all this?
Yes, I can't say with absolute certainty. I can't prove it. I don't think anything can be proven in this kind of way. Okay. But I think that there's really good evidence, very compelling evidence to believe that this is the case. That's what I believe. Yes.
Right, so he said then, very compelling evidence, but nothing can be proven, did he say?
Yeah, it's the science proves nothing mantra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they know.
In our text back, messaging backwards and forwards in Jem's text channel, he did actually say that it can't be proven. There is no proof one way or the other.
Yeah, the reason why they say that, I think, is because they know they have pseudoscience, which is just total bullshit based on inductive reasoning.
And he did say that science doesn't prove anything, which in itself is, that's not science. If it can't, if you're doing science that can't prove anything, you're not doing science.
But they've done the same thing with the geometry. With science, they got suits, empirical scientific method, and their science. They've done the same thing with geometry. Just start making shit up and use two different ones. They did the same thing with both.
Well, that was my response to him in the text channel over at Gems. He's saying science doesn't prove anything, and I'm like, well, we don't argue for or against science here. We don't use science as a proof or, it doesn't prove anything. We don't even use the scientific argument here. So him actually saying that science doesn't prove anything at this moment in time in the discussion is a nothing. It's a nothing statement because I've already told him that we don't use science here.
Right.
And,
we base our...
Well, science. I quite like science, the logic,
Yeah, but we don't use it as our argument, let's say.
Yeah.
The backbone of our argument isn't based in science, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I was just pointing out that they don't like proofs because an empirical. I mean, there has been things that method has done, and they can't admit to it, so they just say science doesn't prove anything. But now they've done it in this argument with the geometry, so they just start making up their own and say, pretty much the same thing. It's kind of they just don't. They never have any proofs, and then so the geometry doesn't have any proofs. And then they start using two different ones simultaneously when it's fallacy.
But at the end of the day, they can't afford to have any proofs.
Oh yeah, right.
The proof is the one thing they do not want. So
that conversation about proof is a hard one to have with the ballers, isn't it? As to what is it you call proof, and where do you get that from? How do you get it? It's hard, especially when Scott said, I think he's of the opinion, like Gem Panda, pictures from space are proof. Somebody telling you something, like eyewitness testimony, like he said, that's a proof to him that space is real. Pictures from space and eyewitness testimony. We just don't know. I think our standards of proof are different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we looking at the whiteboard within the video right now?
Yeah.
Man,
I got a lot of people over here.
Pear-shaped spheroid. And how does the geometry present itself to you? What happens?
Not on my video. I'll do that.
What happens?
What happens to your oblate spheroid from your feet as it moves away from you? Not moves away from you, but as distance increases away from you.
As distance increases away from me, what are you asking exactly? Are you asking like what Rakia was posting on that meme?
Yeah. I'm asking you, how does your spheroid present itself to you in the distance away from your feet?
In the distance, it lowers. It appears lower to me, ever so slightly, and long distance away from me.
Right. Okay. So what are you saying? As you've got the horizon 360 degrees around you, does the point where your feet are, does it drop down and away from you?
Yep. And you can see that with light at a long enough distance.
No, you can't.
It seems calm down.
You can see the horizon drop.
Yeah.
No, that's rubbish. A
I promise you can. I've seen it.
What is the working limitations of a theodolite?
There isn't a working limitation with respect to checking for horizon drop.
What is the
distance.
working limitations of a theodolite?
Depends on the task you're doing, but when checking for a horizon drop, there's not any limitations that are relevant.
Designed to check
oh my
for
God,
horizon
you're such an
drop?
interrupter. Yeah, it can be used to check for horizon drop, of course.
No, it can't, because you're checking an apparent position.
I promise you it can't. All you have to do is make it level, aim it at horizon, and see what the drop is.
Vici, it's rubbish. You cannot do that
you
with an
apparent
stuff like
that, but you don't ever have any reasons to argue for it.
He loves
but anyway,
to talk
back to your
He does,
you need
doesn't
to
he?
do is you need to take measurements over a long period of time.
Space.
If you listen to this and how many times he accuses me of talking over him, and all he does is talk. He shut, like you said earlier, Cleary. All he does is shut down your mic by talking over you.
That's what they do. They got a booming mic set up.
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of like mine right now. Yeah.
It
hits
like,
hard.
What do you mean right now? Yours is always like that.
Yeah. I didn't know like this one on the PC might be different from the other one, but yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, and all he does is accuse me of talking over him. So there's the projection there of him doing what he's accusing me of doing. It's just really bizarre.
Yeah, I think that's what people do when they're in psychosis like that. You're all a bunch of assholes. Really, maybe you're the one.
Yeah.
Right, you ready to go again? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Biff.
Okay.
Are you gonna make any arguments? Because so far, what you guys have said.
You know my argument.
Question.
You know my argument.
Say it's false, and then never give a reason for why it's false. I'm waiting for some actual substance here.
Level. Ready? Is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Okay, so what does your definition of level have to do with anything?
It's not my definition.
What does any definition of level have to do with the reality of the shape of the planet?
What reality are you referring to?
I'm saying the actual physical.
Bev, hang on. There, right. He said, what does the definition of level have to do with the shape of the planet?
Yeah. Yeah. Did he say the shape of the planet or the shape of my reality?
Planet.
No, the shape of the planet. Yeah. Back it up just a couple of seconds. What does the definition of level have to do with the shape?
I'm saying the actual physical.
It's never been measured.
I'm saying the actual physical substance that we're standing on. It is either shaped one way or the other.
Talking about the smallie.
What is the definition of some word? Any word.
It has
to do with determining that reality.
Measured.
Sure, it's been measured. I've told you how we measured it before.
Wow, yeah. Physical.
He's talking about the little E, or the dirt, the land.
Have to do with the reality of the shape of the planet.
Vici, it's rubbish. You cannot do that with an apparent
like that, but you don't ever have any reasons to argue for it.
Right, anyway, back to your
what you need to do is you need to take measurements over a long period of time.
Space ball.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you gonna make any arguments? Because so far, what you guys have said.
You know my argument.
Question.
You know my argument.
Say it's false, and then never give a reason for why it's false. I'm waiting for some actual substance here.
Level. Ready? Is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Okay, so what does your definition of level have to do with anything?
It's not my definition.
What does any definition of level have to do with the reality of the shape of the planet?
Yeah, the reality of the shape of the planet.
So the definition
of level, what does that have to do with the reality of the shape of the planet?
So son of an astronaut.
That's a denial straight away, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the what does it have to do with it? And it's like, well, I'd say it's a pretty big question, right? Is level horizontal? That's the big question. One of the biggest questions I think I've ever heard.
Well, we've got so many people running away from it at the moment that,
Yeah, and Scott says, what does that have to do with the reality of the shape of the... It doesn't... The definition has nothing to do with the reality of the shape of the planet. The reality of the shape of whatever we think we're living on will not be changed by a definition of anything. Why is level horizontal? That's a different question, isn't it? As to whether it is, but yeah, I don't know. Scott needs to decide, right? And like shape, does the shape of level affect anything? I would say, yeah, it does affect quite a lot of things.
Yeah, you hear a lot about inertial reference frame and non-inertial reference frames in relation to like a globe. But to me, like our reference frame is horizontal and vertical. That's a reality, like you were just saying. Why is that? I mean, that's what it is.
Oh. So yeah, carry on.
What reality are you referring to?
I'm saying
reality
the actual physical.
It's never been measured.
I'm saying the actual physical substance that we're standing on. It is either shaped one way or the other. And what is the definition of some word? Any word.
It has never been
that reality.
measured.
Sure, it's been measured. I've told you how we measured it before.
Your curve, your claimed curve. What would the rate of your curve be?
I don't know what the exact rate is, but there's a rate. We can figure it out.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Wild standard. An approximation would do.
I don't know what the rate is.
He does know these numbers.
Hell yeah,
you don't sit in Gem Panda's server all day, every day, and not know these numbers.
Yep. 8 inches per mile squared, 39.59. Everybody knows all that crap.
Yeah. Strange that they don't ever come up with them, right? Really, really strange.
They're constantly asking us for them.
Yeah, it makes you realise there's another ulterior motive for asking us it. I mean...
Yeah, they want you to make claims so they can mock you and laugh and all that. They don't want to do that. They know better.
I'm sure we can figure it out. It has a curve. I mean, look, it's spherical roughly. Yeah. So it's going to be, it's going to have the rate of drop that's whatever the curve is based on its radius. We'd have to.
Okay, so what is the radius? What is the radius?
Remind me, 4,000 miles.
Sorry.
I'm guessing. I don't have all this stuff at the fingertips, but I think 4,000 miles is my memory. Serves right.
4,000 miles.
Yeah, I think. Right. I mean, correct me. I'm not saying I'm an expert on memorizing stuff, so I think it's 4,000 miles.
You think?
I think.
But you just said.
Do you know the answer?
Not.
Do you know the answer?
Why do I care? Why do I care?
Well, you're asking me, and then you are if I think. I'm telling you, that's my best. That's the way I remember it. Do you know what it is? Because if you know, just correct me.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, that'll do. Then why are you acting like that? What you think?
Well, you pretend to be this.
I don't pretend to be that though. I don't pretend to be a guru. I've told you this 100 times. Stop strawmanning me, dude. I don't pretend to be a guru of anything.
The dimensions of where you think you live.
I don't know anything for certain. I don't know things for certain. I am very ready to admit the things that I don't know. I say that this is a belief of mine. I say this is a belief I hold with high confidence.
A belief. Yeah,
the last thing you'll ever find me saying, Primate, is I know for a fact that this is definitely true, or you're absolutely wrong, or this is absolutely right. I never say any of that stuff because I don't claim to be a guru. So stop projecting.
I'm not projecting.
Well, then why are you calling me? Why are you saying you claim to be the space guru? Like, when have I ever claimed
You're
that?
the one that's saying that everything from space is real. And
I believe that those things are real. I think you guys are too hard on NASA.
Space.
And I ask for evidence of lying, and I can't get it. So it only reaffirms that belief. So I'm sorry, say that again?
And yet, well, stop talking over me, and you might be able to hear what I'm saying.
You started talking over me, dude.
Well, anyway, by the by, this is all by the by, right? What is the radius of your claimed?
Hold on. Are you going to respond to what I just said or not?
What?
Why are you calling me a space guru if I've never claimed making those kinds of claims?
You hold everything NASA tells you to be true.
I have no reason to suspect that NASA is lying about anything of substance. I've never caught them in a lie. I've never heard anyone else. There you go. We're talking to me again.
For me, you are a space guru because you suck all their bullshit up.
It doesn't make me. So first of all, guru would imply that I'm an expert, not somebody who is a believer. Okay, I heard your opinion, but guru. But guru would imply that I'm an expert. I've heard your opinion, dude. Can I finish saying something or not? Like, what is the problem? What are you so afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anything.
A guru would imply that I'm an expert. Oh my Christ. Okay, well then let me speak. A guru would imply that I'm an expert, right? That's what you say when someone's a guru. He's a Blender guru. He knows all about Blender. He's a this guru. He knows all about that subject. So you're saying that because... Yes, I'm saying that. So when you call me a guru, you're trying to say that I claim to be an expert. And I'm saying I don't claim to be an expert. So stop projecting that onto me.
Finished?
I mean, can you not strawman just for a little bit?
I'm not strawmanning you. For me, you are an expert. You claim to know more about space than I do. For me, you are an expert. You are a guru.
I've never once made that claim.
For me,
I've never made that claim.
For me, you are.
All I know you.
It's DP. Like, wait, why has he never made that claim that you say that he's a guru to you? You know more about space. He's the son of an astronaut, isn't he? So
he claims to be.
Yeah, well, so he would know more about space than you.
Absolutely does.
So why would he be saying at the minute he's never made that claim? Because he's not you. And like, what's he going on about? Like, what is this?
He's because I called him a space guru, didn't I?
Well, yeah, you're space guru, like, but he's saying I've never claimed to be a guru, but you've never claimed that he has claimed to be a guru.
No, absolutely.
He just
not.
said to you.
He's to me, compared to me.
Yeah,
he knows far more about that particular subject matter than I do. So
he should do. He's claimed to be the son of an astronaut.
Astronaut, absolutely. So, you know, but this whole technique that he has is he just focuses on this one immaterial little, not backhanded, off the cuff comment, if you like. You know, I never called him a guru per se, but to me, he, compared to what I know, he has guru status. You know, so. But he's just focusing on this silly little comment and turning the whole debate about this comment, and it's a pathetic tactic.
I'm dealing with Twitter as well. Muppets, there they go.
You know tons more than I do. I've never made that claim. Why do you lie, dude?
I'm not lying. I'm just saying.
Well, when did I make a claim that I know more about space than you do?
I'm telling you, you do, because you suck.
I don't. I mean, I don't know what you know. I don't know what you know.
Oh, dude, why? Why? Anyway, back to your claim.
So because
he nearly got you then, didn't he? It's like with his such irrelevance, like you was stumped. And he nearly took that as a win then as well. He's like, I stumped DP by saying something completely irrelevant from nowhere.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's having absolutely nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. You could hear your brain going though.
I just had to laugh it off. Because it's just like, oh my God, Vici, why are you being so pathetic?
A 1v1. Shocking. And if anybody's wondering what I'm doing with the thing, I'm trying to sort my camera out because it has been an ongoing thing. So if you're watching the video and seeing me mess about with that. I'm messing about with
Gently's channel is actually in the chat, and he's asking what's the difference in those drawings, Bev.
Oh,
we
we'll
should
get
get
onto
to that later.
We can. Well, yeah, we never got a chance to do it, but yeah, we can do that with you later on if you want, Gently. But we're doing this now.
You're saying, let me just get this straight, because you're saying that I know. You say that I know more than you know. You think I need to know everything.
Why are you turning this into a discussion about who knows what, you know this, who doesn't?
I think it's probably because you keep strawmanning and projecting me with insults.
Why can you not have a discussion about the reason why you are here?
Well, we can talk about that if you want to stop projecting.
Level being a straight line on a horizontal plane. Why do you have to keep going into the weeds and running away from that?
Let's talk about level for a second. Let's talk about level then. If you want to stop projecting and strawmanning, we can talk about level. Why does the definition of a word matter to you?
I don't care about the definition. I'm talking about the actual physicalities of a level line. I don't care about definitions. Definitions are just words in books that people put there.
Yeah.
I am talking about the physicality of a level line.
Okay, so if you want to define level,
no definition.
Okay, so if we're saying that level is a straight line that has no bend in it from any frame of reference,
that is a straight line.
Then we've defined it.
A straight line does not bend.
Okay, so it's a straight. You're saying the same thing, right? Okay, hold on. So you're saying the same thing, right?
What's the same thing?
Level and straight.
When did I say that level and straight are the same thing? When did I make that assertion?
30 seconds ago.
No, I said level.
Did I make that assertion 30 seconds ago?
Line.
I don't know. Let's have a look. What are we on here? What's that at? It's 54.
Okay, so that's a straight. You're saying the same thing, right? Okay, hold on. So you're saying the same thing, right?
Go back a bit further.
Strawmanning. We talk about level. Why does the definition of a word matter to you?
I don't care about the definition. I'm talking about the actual physicalities of a level line. I don't care about definitions. Definitions are just words in books that people put there.
Yeah.
I am talking about the physicality of a level line.
Okay, so if you want to define level,
no definition.
Okay, so if we're saying that level is a straight line that has no bend in it from any frame of reference,
that is a straight line.
Then we've defined it.
A straight line does not bend.
Okay, so it's a straight. You're saying the same thing, right? Okay, hold on. So you're saying the same thing, right?
What's the same thing?
Level and straight.
No, I just said a straight line doesn't bend.
Yeah, he said level is a straight line and it doesn't bend, right? And a straight line doesn't bend. Yeah. It level's a straight line and a straight line doesn't bend. Not level means the same thing as a straight line. It's like nice, clever wordplay, right?
Yeah,
that
really
he's doing
clever.
just to try and confuse you and turn the argument round and flip it into you said this, but you didn't say that. Because I've noticed that's what Scott does a lot. They like to say what we do is semantics. But what he does is a lot of that. You know, you said that. No, you didn't say that. Yeah, you did. I said, right, remember you said that.
Wordplay. Yeah. And reversing the meanings of sentences and turning the sentence structure so that it implies a different meaning from the words that were said.
Yeah.
And it's really, you really have to keep your eye on them.
Yeah, rather than asking you to redefine, like if they didn't understand it, they will just reinterpret something however they want you and then tell you that that's what you said. Which is very, very, very dishonest in my book.
Very dishonest.
Hey.
When did I say that level and straight are the same thing? When did I make that assertion?
30 seconds ago.
No, you didn't. We just went over it. You didn't.
Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
So level is a straight line. Is level straight or not in your mind?
Level is a straight line.
Okay.
A straight line
you didn't say
does
that?
not have to be level. Do I need to
A straight
spell it
line does not
out
have to
for
be
you?
level. Okay, what's the? No, yeah, you do. What's the case of a straight line not being level?
Draw a straight line at a 45-degree angle. That is not level. Duh.
So okay, so level. So level in your mind is perpendicular to what?
Plumb.
Okay, all right. That's true for me too. You know, that's true for the globe.
After all that,
The
like,
difference,
yeah,
I guess, we have is that you think that plumb line is parallel every spot that you get it at, and I think that plumb line is not parallel in any two spots, right?
Well, it's not a plane then, is it? If you think it's not parallel,
Well, it makes a plane.
It's not a plane.
No, it makes a plane. The plane is the plane that's perpendicular to the plumb at any given point. So every point has its own plane.
That's ridiculous.
Why? It's just math.
No. How can a point be a plane?
Now, look, at a point, you can drop a plumb. The plane is the plane that is perpendicular to that plumb line. Now, that will be dependent upon which point you drop the plumb. You're saying in your world model, all the plumbs are parallel, and so that plane is the same plane for everyone. I'm saying for every point on Earth you drop a plumb, it's going to be a unique vector compared to the other plumbs. It'll have its own plane, which is the plane perpendicular to the line, and it'll be unique to that point on Earth.
So everybody carries around their own plane.
Well, every plane, a horizontal plane, which if we mean every time you have a plane that's perpendicular to a gravity vector, it's dependent upon the direction of the gravity vector, which is dependent upon where you're standing.
Why are you
Oh my
bringing
God,
gravity?
you just really can't not interrupt.
Why are you bringing gravity into this?
Because that's what creates a plumb. The plumb is
a
parallel to
straight up
gravity.
and down.
The plumb is parallel to gravity at that point. That's how you get the plumb.
Gravity.
Yeah. So the gravity vector and the plumb vector are the same thing.
It's a straight up
They
and
point
down
in the same
line.
direction.
It's a straight up
Yeah.
and down.
Yeah. So that's the gravity vector at that point.
No, gravity's got nothing to do with the plumb line, has it?
Well, I'm telling you, the plumb is parallel
is a
to the gravity
position.
vector at any given
It's
point.
a position. It's got
I'm saying
nothing to do
I'm
with
not- I'm
gravity.
saying, listen, it's a line, right?
And it is
It's a line, right?
perpendicular
I'm
to
telling you.
horizontal.
I'm telling you.
There is
The
nothing
line,
to
the
do
plumb
with
line is-
gravity.
Can you not let me finish, dude?
Well, you're bringing
the plumb
something
makes,
into this. We're talking about geometry. We're not talking about your
I'm
fantasy.
correcting something. You're saying something is not true, and I'm telling you why it's
you are
true.
not correcting anything.
Well, can I just?
You have brought
Because
your
what-
fantasy force of gravity into this discussion when we're talking about
You're
geometry.
telling me that it's not
There is
related,
no
and I'm telling you that it
point.
is related.
It's not related.
What are you so scared of? Just let me finish what
I'm
I'm
not
saying, dude.
scared of anything. Why are
Then
you
let me
bringing
finish.
something
Relax
into
and let
this
me finish the
discussion
sentence, for Christ's
that
sake.
doesn't need to be there?
It does need to be there. It's part
It
of what we're
doesn't need
discussing.
to be there, Mr. Veach.
Yes,
Just
it
because
does.
you
Why are
cry
you
for your
dictating to me
gravity-
what I can and can't speak about? Like, don't just relax. Let me finish what I'm saying,
has got
and you can
nothing to
respond
do
to it.
with
I'll let you
geometry.
finish when you're done.
Mr. Veach,
Of course it does. In this
No,
case,
it
we're talking about the
doesn't.
geometry of the planet, and
No.
then gravity does matter.
No, it doesn't.
Look, dude, you're being absurd. Like, how controlling can you be? You interrupt every time I talk, and now you want to tell me I can't say
Okay.
certain words.
Says the
Like,
man
you're
who-
getting-
You're terrible, DP. You're not letting the man talk about his
fantasy
his gravity when he's talking about. Yeah. It's terrible.
But the gravity does not have anything to do with geometry.
Well, you can give him a vector, right? Can't you? I mean, like I always say that you got to play a little bit. You can give him that vertical at least, can't you?
Yeah.
Come
All
on,
right.
You can have vertical.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Everybody. At the end of the
I
day,
don't know. I start.
he is obfuscating because I only want one horizontal.
Yeah.
And he's coming up with multiple perpendiculars on multiple horizontal planes.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't the discussion.
Led by his model.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
The
model's creeping in.
Yeah, he's gone straight back to his model. You know,
Does he ever come away from it?
No, I don't think he can't, can he?
No.
He can't, can he? You know, my statement to him was at the beginning, and is always, all the way through this, that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. One horizontal plane, one straight line. And so far he's got multiple straight lines, multiple horizontals, multiple perpendiculars.
Yeah.
That's not what the discussion is.
Well, when you say that, right, you say that he's got multiple horizontals. Like, his horizontal lines aren't actually lines, are they? They're just points.
Just points, yeah.
But he likes to think of them as lines. He thinks of them as straight lines at a point.
Mm-mm.
But the line isn't a line. It's only a point, because his model's dictating. Now, this is where it gets stronger and stronger at this point, I think. He's been playing a bit and had his fantasy, and you've just brought him down. This is first basics level, right? That's where you got with him, into the reality terms. And he's already injecting not straight lines. Or an imagination of a not straight line. A belief of a curve that's going to stick in his head for the rest of these next 2 hours. How long far? Yeah, we're only 1 hour into it. 2 hours 20, right? We're just starting on the reality bit. He might even break free again and go wandering off into space for a few minutes.
And then you immediately start interrupting, and then you call that me talking over you. Hello?
How much dead air do you need?
I'm done. Like, obviously I'm done. You spike. So if you start, I will not start over talking you. Then when I'm done, I start talking, you're going to start over talking me.
Why are you bringing gravity into a discussion about geometry?
Because it is relevant to what a plumb line is.
No, it's not.
Why are you trying to censor me?
Why am I censor you? How am I censoring you?
Well, as soon as I started answering or making my point, you overtalked me. And now you won't let me finish saying what I was trying to say because you don't want to hear the word gravity.
How much dead air did I just give you?
It's not. What do you mean dead air? What does dead air have to do with anything? Are you suggesting that you're not going to interrupt me and I can go back to the original point? You need to say that explicitly if that's what I'm supposed to read your mind about, dude.
Have you got a point to make or not?
I just did. If you want me to go back and make that point because of the dead air, you need to say that explicitly, like an adult. I can't read your mind. That's my
he's just doubling back onto something. What's he stalling for now? Where's he going back to? He's looping round onto nothing, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what the point was that he was avoiding.
It's just level being horizontal. Like, you just dipped the toe into a straight line, level being a straight line. And I think he's scared. He knows where it's going. He's trying to, like, obfuscate out of it at the minute.
Yeah.
Point.
Right. So there is no point bringing gravity into a discussion about geometry.
I think there is a point.
No, there isn't. Why do you need to... We're talking about geometry. We are talking about the geometrics.
We're talking about the geometry of the Earth.
No, we are talking about only geometry.
I thought we were talking about the geometry of the Earth.
Right, can you see the board I've got there? There's 3 plumb bobs.
Yeah,
hanging.
they're not. Are they? They're parallel. Aren't they?
They're running down, aren't they? There's 3 plumb bobs running down, and there's a water level here. Now, this water level will establish a horizontal plane, and on this horizontal plane there are 3 plumb bobs falling through the horizontal plane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which one of these 3 plumb bobs will be perpendicular to the horizontal plane?
All 3?
Yeah. in reality, they'll all be perpendicular, but Scott's model, like he's saying with the gravity, you can't have three perpendicular. Yeah, you can't have all three of those being perpendicular. So that's why I did it, and that's why they're there on the board. Them 3 plumb bobs, right? Just to explain to anybody that, like, how do you have that? What are they in this scenario?
It seems to me like people that don't want to live in reality have a model, you know?
And the people that do live in reality don't.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Strange. Carry on.
We are talking about level being a straight line on a horizontal plane. This is geometry. What does this have to do with the shape of
it has to do with the fact that horizontal is defined as perpendicular to a plumb line. A plumb line is something referring to what? How do you define horizontal then? I mean, this isn't that hard, dude. I don't know why you can't just let me finish and then say what you want to say. Jeez.
Horizontal
yes,
is perpendicular to a plumb.
Is that not right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a plumb line is, what is that a reference to? Why is it called a plumb line? That's a reference to a real world activity. That's not a reference to geometry. We don't have plumb lines in geometry.
I heard him say that. It's a reference to a real world activity. Yeah. Anyone know that? What the I've never heard of that.
Plumb lining.
Yeah, plumb lining.
Would that be it?
It's a real live activity. Like this evening, I shall be plumb lining.
What are you doing at the weekend, Cleary? Will you be lining your plums?
I'm gonna have to find out for that. Whether it's a sport or something, I don't know. A pastime. Do you reckon it's a pastime? It sounds very...
It definitely sounds like an astronaut's pastime.
Plumb line.
Are you lining your plums this weekend, Mr. Beach?
I didn't even know where he was going with this. He might know something about that I don't, right?
Hang on. Back that up. But hang on. Back that up a bit. What did you just say?
Why you're talking about it in reference to a plumb line. A plumb line is a real world activity, like a thing that you can hold in your hands and you can drop a plum and get a plum reading. It's a physical measurement. But plums don't exist in, as far as I know.
Which gives you what?
Don't exist in geometry. Hold on, don't exist in abstract. Can I just finish, dude? They don't exist in abstract geometry. It's a real world thing, and in the real world, a plum is related to gravity because gravity's in the real world too.
Right, a plumb line.
That's why I was originally bringing it up.
A plumb line gives you what?
Doesn't exist.
Gravity's in the real world too.
Yeah. Geometry's abstract, apparently.
Well, no, I think he means a plumb line, right? This has been a WS thing and all of that, you know.
I'm sure he said geometry is abstract.
Yeah. Well, it sort of is, isn't it? The geometry is abstract, but the geometry is Earth measurement, right? So it's derived from a real world activity, of leveling and plumb lining activity. Yeah. I like the idea of leveling though, right? So if one of them's an activity, surely the other one is opposed to it, perpendicularly opposed to the other activity.
It would have to be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Nice.
Is parallel to the vector of gravity.
No. That is rubbish. What does a plumb line give you?
Why do you think that's rubbish? Yeah, what it gives you is the vector of gravity at that spot.
No.
Why do you think that's rubbish?
Mr. Veach, what does a plumb line give you?
I just told you. It gives you a vector for gravity at that point.
It gives you a vertical line, you donut.
Which is a vector for gravity at that point.
A vector for gravity, that's what he wants to call it. He doesn't like the term vertical. It's too average. It's too...
it's too
normal.
Real world.
Well, yeah, it's sort of like is it a flat Earth thing? Because
What, a vertical line?
Yeah, well, you're going to reference horizontal, and everybody knows that level being horizontal is flat Earth. So, you know, just to make sure in case somebody might consider you a flat earther for saying vertical.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about geometry. He wants to talk about his model, vector of gravity.
Vector of gravity at that point, yeah. It's much better to describe it as that. I did like you. No, Mr. V.
that was a PhD Tony there. No. All a plumb line does is gives you a.
How do you think a plumb line works? But that vertical line is a vector for gravity.
Gravity has got nothing to do with geometry. You know that.
When you bring plums into it, you're not talking about geometry anymore. You're talking about surveying.
Not really.
Sorry, Mr. Veach, but surveying is the practical application of a certain geometry. Yeah, so that's shocking, but I mean, nice. I mean, somebody's told him that, right? Somebody said the two different things, geometry and surveying. Otherwise,
it wasn't me.
I know. So one of his friends has told him that, and I'd be surprised if these friends that have told him that are willing to stand up and say, "Yes, I'm the one that told him that."
It might be his friend WS.
Yeah, maybe.
WS. Who is WS? WS, come on here and talk to us, will you?
It's the one that tells everybody all of these things and then never
hides. Really?
If you want to go to surveying, we can go there in a second.
Well, you're talking about drawing a plumb, so you're either talking about carpentry.
We can go to surveying in a second.
Or surveying, but you aren't talking about geometry anymore. You're talking about the real world.
Well, dropping a plumb line gives you a horizontal line.
The horizontal line, as you define it.
Perpendicular to that horizontal line is what?
The gravity vector.
Perpendicular to the horizontal line is the gravity vector.
That's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
The perpendicular to a horizontal line, like a line, is the gravity vector. So that means the gravity vector is they're perpendicular to a line, which means they're parallel to each other. Scott Veach said it. We could clip that back out if you want to get that one. 10303.
You sure about that?
Yeah. If you drop a plumb, that's going to be parallel to the gravity vector. If you define a horizontal plane as being perpendicular to that plumb line, then you define it as being perpendicular to the gravity vector. And you say that level is a line on that plane, right? That's fine. So that line is also perpendicular to the gravity vector.
Was he up all night, like, doing blow or something? That's what he sounds like.
Well, like he's just said level is a line on that horizontal plane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one of the definitions of a plane, right? It contains all the straight lines on it.
He said level is a line on a plane.
Yeah.
Well, he's just given me what I wanted.
Yeah, he's just he said it already. He talks that fast that you don't get to hear what he said. But yeah, Scott Veach just said that level is a line. I presume he means a straight line, right? On a plane.
It can only be a straight line, can't it? He didn't put the word curved in there anywhere. So.
Yeah, so that's number one, Scott Veach.
Can we timestamp that?
10303.
10303.
And we'll put it in the clips bit.
Right.
10303.
Scott Veach.
Timestamp number one.
Level is a line on the plane. Nice one, Scotty.
There we go, just to confirm.
Perpendicular to the horizontal line is the gravity vector. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, if you drop a plumb, that's going to be parallel to the gravity vector. If you define a horizontal plane as being perpendicular to that plumb line, then you define it as being perpendicular to the gravity vector. And you say that level is a line on that plane, right? That's fine. So that line is also perpendicular to the gravity vector, which is perpendicular to the plumb.
He did
This
say
isn't hard,
you
dude.
say.
Yeah, he said it's fine.
But it is when you bring
So now
unnecessary
well, here's the difference between our two models.
into a
In your
discussion
model,
about
okay, but here's
geometry.
Here's the difference though between our two models.
I don't
Because
have a model.
in your model,
I don't have a model. Stop building a straw man.
Okay, well, just relax and let me finish, dude.
Stop
Can you just let me
No,
finish?
because you're building a straw man.
Okay, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what we call it. I'm not trying to like gotcha you. I'm just trying to express a
I
differential.
don't have a model.
Okay,
Mr.
so not
Beach.
on your model. So not on your model.
Mr. Beach.
So not on your model.
Level.
I heard you. So
is
not
a
on your
straight
model.
line on a
You're not.
horizontal plane. That is.
Can I finish what I'm trying to say, Primate? Like you're being obnoxious.
No. You're trying to. You're
In
trying
a-
to build
in
a
a-
straw
there is a
man,
mod.
Mr. Beach.
I'm not. I'm trying to tell you the difference between the way we view the world. What is wrong with that? Like, why are you so scared of hearing the difference?
I need you to tell me how you think I view the world.
I'm telling you the difference in how we view the world.
Why do I need you to tell me how you think I view the world?
I don't. I'm telling you the difference between
Well,
the way
then
we
shut
view the
up.
world. No, I'm not going to shut up. I'm telling you the
Stop
difference in our
building-
worldviews. What's
stop
wrong with that? Why are
building
you
the
stopping
straw
everything
man.
I try to say? It's not a straw man, dude. It's the truth. You would agree, I think. What do you think the difference is in our world models? How about that? You tell me what you think they are.
You have a fantasy ball you think you live on that's flying through an infinite fucking vacuum.
Okay, so do you need to get more specific and relevant to our discussion at hand? Can you narrow it down to what do you think the difference regarding these lines are in our two worlds?
Wow. Do you see what happened then? Huh? It was quite. I think he thinks he's got you on the ropes here. You just gave him a space out, didn't you?
Yeah.
You challenged him and saying it was ridiculous about the space ball, and he has gone back to the difference between the lines, which is
Yes.
he's engaging you within the geometry now.
So I've gone to his fantasy and he's come to my reality.
I think so. Yeah, the roles have been reversed. Whatever happened at that point there, that's pretty big.
Well, let's keep this. Oh, you are such an obfuscator.
Dude,
Right.
I'm not the one stopping you from saying what you want to say. You're the one, every time I say anything, you're interrupting me, telling me I can't say it, and
How
then
much-
preventing me from saying it. So I have to break it to you. That makes you the obfuscator.
How much dead air have I given you to make points?
You're not,
And
dead air doesn't mean jack, dude. What is it? What do you mean by dead air? Because you don't say anything, I'm supposed to now suddenly realize what?
Spaces.
You need to tell me if you're gonna stop interrupting me. You need to say, okay, my bad. Go ahead and say the thing you wanted to say 5 minutes ago.
Oh, and you just keep talking and talking and talking. Nice one. Anyway, let's. Can you construct a horizontal line using surveying equipment?
Sure. You can construct a horizontal line doing a bunch of different ways. How
Right,
could you
right.
not use horizontal surveying?
Yeah. Say to me how you would construct a surveyed straight line. So it needs to be a horizontal line, not just straight,
I'm not a
but
surveyor.
horizontal. Sorry.
I don't really know. I don't really know how the tools work, to be honest with you. I'm not a surveyor.
In your estimation.
Right, so that's admission 1. He doesn't know how the tools work, but he did just say that you can construct a horizontal multiple different ways, but not the surveying ways. So there must be other ways that he does know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is this possible over a mile?
Sure. I just said so.
No, you think it's possible to construct a horizontal line over a mile?
I think you can define, look, when you say construct, I think you mean define.
Well,
Is that a
define,
mistake?
construct, yeah, it's the same. Yeah. Well,
So
I'll
you can
give you that
define a
one.
horizontal line to be infinitely long.
playing that
I don't know,
semantics
miles
game.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if you drop, this is what I think that you mean. I'm not a surveyor, and I don't know if you have some specific idea in mind.
Confirmation 2. Scott Veach isn't a surveyor, doesn't really know what he's talking about again.
Drop a plumb line down. The line that makes, you stay whatever's perpendicular to it, you call the horizontal plane. And that's true. That plane is now defined infinitely in all directions.
Infinitely in all directions, right. Okay, that's good. So just as an example, I'm just putting this out there as an example to you, right? If I had a stake in the ground and I marked a line on that stake in the ground with a pencil, and I had another stake at a half-mile distance and a third stake at a mile distance, then I could project the line of that pencil on a horizontal plane over all 3 stakes in the ground over a mile distance, yeah?
The horizontal plane that would make up that line would be different than the horizontal plane at either of the 2 stakes.
That is ridiculous. First of all, you can establish a horizontal plane infinitely, but then the moment you say you cut in 2 other bits, he's backpedaling.
So he's contradicted himself within that statement.
Yeah, I guess.
You can construct the horizontal plane.
Yeah. And then
But
yeah, it won't be horizontal over there.
yeah. Or over there from over there.
Yeah. Like wherever that is.
Yeah.
Sorry?
But remembering, he doesn't know anything about surveying, right? He's not a surveyor, and he doesn't really know how the tools work.
A horizontal plane that consists of having those 2 points in it
3
be a
points.
different plane than the one you define, the stakes as points.
So
The horizontal plane
what
that
you're
has
telling
both
me
of those
that
points.
you're telling me
I didn't get
that
to finish it, but go
you're
ahead.
contradicting what you said earlier. You said that I could
I mean,
project
you didn't even let me finish the sentence.
Well spotted there, DP. Well spotted. And now he's obfuscating again.
So how do you know what I was saying?
Because you've just said it.
My apologies, carry on.
The horizontal plane that contains the 2 points of the stakes would be a different horizontal plane than we defined a minute ago using a plumb line. It would not be the same horizontal line that we got for the first stake, or where you go over to the next stake, it would not be the same horizontal line for that one. They would intersect each other at those 2 points. These there'd be 3 planes in total. There'd be 2 intersection points, but none of them would be the same plane.
doubled down on his contradiction.
So you started off by saying to me that a surveyor can survey a horizontal plane over any distance. And then you told me... Hang on. Hang on, I gave you the courtesy of letting you finish. Do the same for me.
I don't think you have been, but okay.
Do the same for me.
You haven't been doing that, dude, but okay.
I just did. I even apologized.
The first time, now you wanted to crow what a great non-interrupter you are. I got you.
I even apologized to you.
My apologies, Mr. Primate. Go ahead, please.
Now, when I asked you to first define that line, I said I take a pencil, I mark a mark on a post. You told me that a surveyor could extend that line indefinitely in any direction as a horizontal plane.
Right.
Now, I've just asked you to project that line onto 3 posts, one at a half-mile distance and one at a full-mile distance, to project the same plane.
You can't do that.
You told me it's not possible.
Yeah,
why did you contradict yourself?
It's not a contradiction. What's the contradiction?
It's not a contradiction.
That's tripling down.
Wow. You just, yeah. First of all, you spotted the contradiction. Well done for doing that. And then, point 2, you pointed out to him that he's got a contradiction. And then he says that's not a contradiction. That is Globe Defender model lover tactics, right? I don't think he knows what he's saying at this point. It's shocking.
That you told me that a surveyor can project the original line any distance in any direction, and I asked you to project that very same line onto 2 other posts, one at a half-mile distance, one at a full-mile distance, and you told me it's not possible.
It's not possible because the problem is that when we say any direction, it didn't mean that you can rotate this thing around. I mean, you could if you want, I guess, but it's no longer the same plane.
Rotation?
I meant that. Well, you are, but let me finish. What I meant.
I don't even know what rotation he's referring to.
If you take a,
it's like there's a ball, right?
He wants to rotate his ball.
Well, no, you've just got to like reference a ball, right? A circular movement, right? A rotation. It's referencing a ball, right? Like, it doesn't mean anything, but at least he got in a reference to a ball in there.
To a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, could he be meaning the rotation of the foresight to the backside with an auto level? Could it be that 180-degree rotation that you do usually when you're doing that, like using surveying tools to establish a horizontal plane of reference?
Doesn't know anything about surveying, so how would he know about foresight and backside and the rotation, the 180-degree rotation involved?
Well, I'm just thinking that the rotation on that horizontal plane, right? It is a rotation of the level, but he's saying that rotation would not establish a horizontal because the point is I don't know. Like he doesn't know what he's saying even. It's fantastical thinking from a man that admittedly doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's fully willing to talk to you about it. I love it.
Amazing. What was that, Cleary? Did you say something there? I missed.
Oh yeah, I can't remember now. I was reading something else. Sorry.
Right.
Point or a line, and you extend the line out in any direction that is 2 dimensions, then that plane can go off infinitely long, right? Now that plane is just one 2D plane, right? It's thin, it's wide, but there are things that could be above it and things that could be below it, right?
That's all I'm asking for.
No matter how long it goes, no matter how far it goes, it's not going to intersect things that are below or above it.
That's all
and the things that you're talking about are below it.
That's all I'm asking for.
What are you asking?
That plane to be extended to those wooden posts, 1.5 mile distance.
To extend it, to get them to touch the wooden posts, you'd have to rotate the plane.
How long do you think those wooden posts are? Those wooden posts.
I'm assuming they're all the same height.
That they can.
1 foot each, let's say.
Let's call them a foot each.
That's what I said.
I'll tell you what. Let's call them 2 foot each, just for ease.
Okay, 2.
Right, just for ease.
Okay.
Okay, these stakes are 2 foot high. I draw a line at 6 inches above the ground.
Okay.
And I would like that line projected on a horizontal plane to the other 2 posts.
Do you want it to intersect the posts at the same spot?
I want a horizontal line.
Do you want it to intersect the posts at the same spot of the posts?
Do you want it to intersect the posts at the same spot? What does he mean? What does he mean by that?
He means he has no idea about anything.
Yeah.
I'm kind of guessing, because I didn't really know what he was referring to, but when we were discussing this, I was kind of thinking that I've marked my original line at 6 inches above the ground, as stipulated, and he's asking me if I want my line 6 inches above the ground on the other 2 posts as well. But the ground might drop away, it might rise up.
Yeah.
Yeah, ground is perfect.
Yeah, and my horizontal plane, my horizontal line,
bears no relevance to the ground underneath it. So how does he want me to answer that question?
Yeah. Well, see, this is what I do for next time, right? Imagine you've got a 4-foot post and you're going to bang it into the floor about a foot to make it steady. So you've got 3 foot of this post out of the ground. Now, because we're doing it at the side of a canal, gives us a chance. So we can just say 1.5 foot above the water, we're going to mark this post. There's 3 foot of the post hanging out. So we've got 1.5 foot up and 1.5 foot down on the post from the water level, right?
Yeah.
And then the other 2 posts can still have whatever variance. There's 1.5 foot, you've got 18 inches. And it's only a mile. So the horizontal could be made from all 3 if you wanted to. Couldn't you?
Yeah, just like a canal.
Yeah, and like it's what shape they would be, right? But the whole point is that you're putting them across all 3. That's all you want, is one horizontal line all through all 3. It's not hard, but for a ball believer, if they say it's possible, then they think there's a trap there, right? You're playing some sort of a trick on them because that horizontal can't. I don't know. The model, right? They have a model and they think that they might be stepping into a trap by saying yes.
Well, I think it'd be great for a professional surveyor to come out and establish a horizontal line and you reference it to the canal. It would be so cool to see. People would be like, oh, wow, water's horizontal. Or some people would be like, no, they screwed it up. Be like, well, come out here and check it yourself, or do whatever. It's a reality. That horizontal line is going to match up with the canal. Just logical.
Well, I mean, we can get into that path. I mean, this is just logical, like for anyone to just think of how it's going. But I mean, Scott's struggling at the minute. I think he feels like he's trapped in a thing. To me, it's like he doesn't know what he wants to say. Although he should just be saying, I don't know. I'm not a surveyor. I couldn't tell you. But that, I suppose, may be handing over authority on the subject to you, DP.
Maybe.
He doesn't want to do that.
He has stated more than once that he doesn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I want a horizontal line.
Well, it's horizontal by definition. You defined it to be horizontal. So I'm asking you, if you want to intersect
a horizontal plane, is it possible to do?
It depends on how far away they are. If you all you care about is intersecting the post at some spot.
Man, did I not say?
I'm giving you your answer. Stop freaking out, dude. Listen to me. If you're trying to have it intersect the post at any point, then it will depend on how far away they are. If you want to intersect at the same spot, which is what I assumed you'd want, because that's what makes sense.
I don't give a fuck. I want a horizontal plane.
Okay, well, do you care if it intersects the post at all?
I want a horizontal plane. That's all I'm interested in.
All right, well, so your plane is going to intersect if you're at 1 mile or 2 miles, your plane is going to intersect the first post and miss the second post.
I've been in and out. I'm getting a massage.
It'll intersect the first post pretty high.
Yeah, we're
miss the second post entirely.
How do you know that if you don't know your rate of curvature?
It's a rule of thumb.
We're on YouTube.
How do you know that if you don't know your rate of curvature?
It's a rule of thumb I have.
What, that a post that far away won't
No, I just have memorized the first
projected onto it.
No, I have the first few memorized, so it's not like I know the actual rate. I just know
the first few what?
The droppage for the first few miles. It's like 16, 32, and 64, I think.
So you have it memorized now, but you didn't know it half an hour ago.
I don't know the rate. I just have the first few memorized, so couldn't tell you what the rate actually is. But I happen to know, like, the first mile is 8 inches, the second mile is 32.
We are slowly establishing that
he was totally wrong with those numbers.
No, we're not actually. We're
Yeah, we
establishing
are.
that
You
you
sound
are trying
clever,
to
them
No, we're
numbers.
not. I told
Yeah,
you
we
what
are.
I'm saying is not contradictory. I don't know what
Yes,
the
it
rate is.
is. You
No,
don't know
I
what
don't
the
know
rate
the
is,
rate.
but
I
suddenly
don't
you
know what
do
the
know
rate
what
is.
the rate is.
But I
Okay.
memorized 3 numbers. That doesn't tell me the rate, does it? See, this is the problem: is you don't want to
Anyway,
derail stuff, but you want to
back-
insult in derailing ways.
Back to
So why don't you just be honest for once? Why don't you just be real? Why don't you be real and be a man about what you say? You're gonna call me. If you're gonna say it contradicts, actually make an argument that it contradicts, but it doesn't, does it? These are 2 different things. That's not the rate. I don't know the rate. I only know a few of the early.
Why is he on about making an argument that contradicts?
Right, every time I've called him out for contradicting himself, he's called me a liar.
Yeah.
See,
And then he's just asked you to make an argument that contradicts.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think he knows where he's running to at the minute.
He's just flailing around.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where that MK Ultra thing comes into it, right? I think you've challenged him a bit and with reality, and he's getting stuck.
This is how people act when they're trapped. Like a mouse, in a cage. You know what I'm saying? It's just they start scrambling around, trying to blame others.
Yeah.
Ones, and that's not the rate. Those are just memorized numbers. It's called droppage.
You finished?
I guess. I mean, are you gonna respond
To what?
to what I just said?
What? You now claim to have memorized numbers. So what?
Yeah, exactly. So I claim to memorize numbers. So why are you calling that a contradiction to knowing the rate?
You memorised numbers. Well done. Well done. Anyway,
Yeah,
back to our
why are you
back
calling
to
that
our
a contradiction to what I said earlier?
Back to
Why are you calling that? Why is it that you want to insult and then run from it when you get confronted?
I'm not running from it. You're just really tired.
Well, you are. You don't even want to address it now. You're scared to even now that you got called on it, and now that I'm pointing out the absurdity of your insult, you suddenly are like, what? I don't. What are you talking about? Okay, you memorize numbers, as if that's not what you were saying.
It wasn't an insult. Why do you take it as an insult?
It was an insult. You called me a contradictory liar.
No, I told you were contradicting yourself, which you were, because earlier you claimed.
Slowly, you're revealing yourself as a contradictory liar, is what you said.
He hears liar a lot, doesn't he?
All the time.
I can't remember hearing you call him a liar.
I called him a contradictory fool.
Yeah.
Not a liar.
Yeah.
I've never called him a liar, but he just keeps saying that I've called him a liar.
Yeah, and then
It's
he'll
really
call you
bizarre.
a liar that you're saying that you haven't called him a liar when he says you have.
Mhm.
It's really weird. Really weird.
Earlier, it's like his defence is to call everybody who confronts his reality a liar.
I guess so.
Bizarre.
I guess so.
To know what the rate of curve was, and now you are giving numbers that.
I think somebody
add up to
handed
your
him
rate
the
of
numbers
curve.
as well.
So that is
They
a
don't- I don't know if they do. I
contradiction
told you there were
that is a
rules.
direct contradiction in
And
your earlier claim.
it's not a
Mr.
direct
Beach.
contradiction because knowing the first three
Yes, it
drop
is.
does not give me the rate of
Vichy.
curve, especially when those aren't
Anyway,
even accurate.
Vichy,
Those are
this
just rules
is-
of thumb. Hold on, don't anyway Vichy me. Like
Rules
if you're
of
gonna
thumb.
say it, then I'm gonna respond, and you should be a man and stand there and actually have a response for it. Stop trying to run every time you get confronted.
I'm not running.
Seriously, it's
Mr.
unmanly.
Beach. Why are you?
It is unmanly, my
obfuscating?
friend.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not. You just need to deal with the fact that if you're going to call me a contradictory liar, you're going to have to back it up. And if your
When-
best
when
backup
did
is
I
that
call you a liar?
I have some droppages you did earlier. I have some droppages that are memorized. That
When
does
did
not
I
mean
call-
that I know the rate of curvature.
When did I?
You
call
know that
a
doesn't mean I
liar?
know the rate of curvature. So
When did
how you said you're a contradictory liar earlier? We already know
No,
this.
I said you contradicted yourself.
No,
It's
you
not
called me
my
a
problem
contradictory
if
liar.
you are hard of hearing.
You
I
said,
said you
and I quote,
contradicted
you are slowly
yourself.
revealing yourself to be a contradictory liar. End
A
quote.
contradictory fool is what I actually said.
No, you said liar.
Listen back to the recording later.
Yeah, okay.
It was full.
Somebody
I
come
called
in,
you a
man.
somebody came in there and told him that I had called him a contradictory fool. Did you hear that?
No, if we go back.
Somebody comes in the background between when I'm speaking to him and he's speaking to me and somebody comes in and says he called you a fool, and then
Contradictory
Vici
liar
just
earlier. We already
no,
know
I
this.
said you contradicted yourself.
No,
It's
you
not
called me
my
a
problem if
contradictory
you
liar.
are hard of hearing.
You
said
said,
you
and I quote,
contradicted
you are slowly
yourself.
revealing yourself to be a contradictory liar. End
A
quote.
contradictory fool is what I actually said.
No, you said liar.
Listen back to the recording later.
He
Yeah,
really
okay.
wants to be called
It was
liar.
fool.
So,
I
in
called
any
you a
event,
contradictory
if you want to try to get insults like that in, you're going to have to be able to back them up. And we both know that's a nonsense insult. The fact
Well,
that I
you
have
did-
2 or 3 rules of thumb memorized does not mean I know the rate of the curvature.
Vici.
If I knew the rate of the curvature, I could give you the answer for any distance.
Something stopped him then because he stopped talking about it now. That line of obfuscation has now been changed into something else.
Yeah, somebody came in and said to him that I called him a contradictory fool.
Yeah, maybe was it spot on? Sort of
No.
did sound like somebody said he did say fool or
Yeah.
something like that. I think I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very faint, but it is there.
Yeah.
Good night.
Vici,
Prime 80.
have you finished?
Are you going to be a man and respond?
To what? You contradicted yourself. And
I did. How's that a contradiction? Why you want to say that when you know?
let's get back to this level.
Are you going to just lie this entire time? How many lies are you
It's
going to
not a
tell
lie.
when he's sitting
It's
there? It is a lie. Listen to yourself.
How many lies am I going to tell when you?
You said it's a contradiction. I've told you that it's not. I've told you why it's not, and you can't even respond. You're just going to try to keep lying. Why don't we? I mean, like, how many lies do you plan to tell? Why don't you just try being honest? You know, if something is a contradiction, say it is. But if it isn't, don't say it is.
Have you finished?
It's not hard. No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you do next.
What would you like me to do to appease your ego?
I would like you to stop lying about me and stop insulting me.
Wow. I heard that quite a lot there, right? I almost get the feeling that somebody says, call him a liar. If you call him a liar, you'll win this. He's lying, or, somebody's just sending that as a message to him. You're lying. He's insulting you.
They all use it every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Several of them. That's all they do. Liar. You're a liar. You're lying.
Yeah. It's like it's an argument, right?
Yeah.
Like a script. Yeah. Like a deal.
Yeah. It is no argument. It's an out. It's an easy out for them, so they don't have to even look at the argument.
Yeah.
that's being presented to them.
You said he was contradicting, which he was, and ages ago that was like about half an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still on about that. He says he's explained how it wasn't contradictory, but it was. But now that he's just making it up, that you've not believed him, so now you're the liar for not believing
him.
That
he didn't contradict himself when he did.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It is.
Oh, no.
Brilliant. But
think about this. You don't hear this conversation anywhere in real life, right? This is just in this argument.
Yeah.
And it's from their group.
Yeah, you haven't heard me and my boss argue about flat Earth yet. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about, but that's the argument, right?
Yeah.
It's about that. That's what I'm saying. You don't hear this in everyday business life or conversations between enemies, or you know what I'm saying. It's just a strange deal.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not even talking about flat Earth. We're talking about geometry. There is nothing in this subject that is related to the perceived globe or the perceived plane. We are just purely talking about whether it is possible to project a horizontal plane over a mile.
Yeah, like that's what the fun thing is here, right? We've got 3 posts separated by half a mile each, and you've put a pencil mark on one of them, and you've just said, "Can we put this A level line across all of these, horizontal, all the way across. And he's obfuscating. You're a liar. You're insulting him. It's unbelievable. This is.
It is. It's hilarious.
I'm not lying about
from
you.
them.
And
You said that I contradicted myself when I didn't.
that wasn't a lie. You did contradict yourself. And you,
That's not
you-
true because
and you
one
do
is not the
constantly
equivalent of the
contradict-
other.
And you do constantly
that's not
contradict
true.
yourself. Yes, you do.
If that's your idea of contradiction, then clearly you're lying. Because
Okay, so now you're accusing me of lying.
Hold on.
Okay, well
Yes,
this
you
is
are
fair,
lying.
fair.
You're
Okay, this is
absolutely- you're
fair,
lying.
fair. Okay.
So
You think I
so
lied
those
to
three
you?
numbers are the same thing as the rate of curvature, is it? Is
This
it?
is fair now, Vici. Let's
Has he
go
gone
on.
back to his numbers
You
again?
think I've lied
Yeah.
to you?
Wow.
You've lied to me.
But is it
So-
the rate of curvature, Primate, is my question for you.
What,
Knowing those three
the
numbers, are
numbers
they the
you
rate of
gave
curvature?
me
Yeah.
is I don't know. I don't know anything about your rate of curvature. It's why would
Okay.
I,
Well, so
why
they
would I
aren't.
want to know that?
Rate of curvature is a fundamentally different concept. One which those they don't even accurate numbers. So if the last thing they're going to do is give me the correct rate of curvature.
So why do you use them if they're not accurate?
What?
Rule of thumb. I told you.
Oh,
that they're
rule of thumb.
Easy to
Okay,
remember.
so we'll just go with
Easy to
your rule of
remember,
thumb.
and they're approximately correct. I think.
Did he just say the last thing they would do would be to give him the correct rate of curvature?
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be the last thing anyone would ever think of giving Scott.
That's weird.
Who's giving it to him is the other one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Somebody's must have handed it to him.
Yeah, you go out there and run your mouth, but we can't tell you the exact numbers. Why not? Why not? Well,
Yeah.
no, we just can't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
almost
that'd be the
scary.
last thing that they would do would be give him the correct numbers.
Yeah, we don't-
like, well, why do that? Rule of thumb.
Anything
Rule
but
of
the
thumb.
correct numbers.
Yeah.
I'll just guesstimate some numbers and you can pretend they're the right ones.
Vici, we'll just go with your rule of thumb, just to make you feel
Primate.
better.
Primate.
Okay? Just to make you feel
Primate.
better.
You know, it doesn't make me feel better. I'm just telling you how why it is they get used. They're easy to remember. They're rules of thumb. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do whatever you want. If you know the exact numbers, use the exact numbers. I just don't happen to know.
Why would I care?
I don't know why you care about anything. You so far haven't made any arguments of substance. You haven't made any claims that make any sense. You haven't even really taken a
Straight
position.
line. Level
So
is a
God
straight
only
line.
knows
or
what you
not.
care about.
Do you not listen?
You
you
say
really not
level
listen?
straight? Okay, I can go with that
Level-
definition.
no,
What
I
does that
said
do for
level-
you, though?
Listen. Close your mouth and open your ears. Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Okay.
Right,
What does
you
that
got
do
it?
for you? I've heard you. What does that do for you now?
Well, you said I didn't make a claim. I haven't made a claim. Well, I
So,
kind of have.
Okay, so I take it back. That's a great claim. To me, it's a definition. I accept that definition.
It's not a definition,
Now what?
is it? It's not a definition.
Yeah, you define what level is.
Let's go back to our projected line over our 3 stakes, shall we?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the horizontal plane that I defined is the same plane at each of those 3 points?
The horizontal plane that you defined.
Yeah, you asked me to just say how would I think of surveyor can come up with a horizontal plane. I
I'm
defined a
ask-
way to do it for you.
I'm asking a surveyor to make one horizontal plane.
Like, when he says that, it's a pretty clever tactic, right? Because he didn't actually define a plane.
No.
At all,
Not
ever,
a-
at any
right,
point. He just said you couldn't. So what he's going to get you to try and do now is to try and tell him what he should have said. Right? Because he's not going to accept your answer of the actual horizontal. He wants you to tell him what his model
What he
would have
should have
predicted.
said.
Yeah. It's very clever, but it won't work, will it? Because there's no definition of a horizontal plane on a curved surface.
Over the 3
But I'm
points.
asking you,
Yeah.
I gave you a method for doing it. And I'm asking you if you think that method that I gave that we've been using
And
that
how
method
many?
going to give you the same
using-
horizontal plane at 3 different points at those 3 states.
How many horizontal planes does your method give me?
Well, per point, 1
And
per
overall,
point. However many points you measure at.
let's say the 3 points that I outlined earlier. One
3
point.
different planes.
Well, no, that's not what I want. Then, is it?
I don't know, but I'm telling you that's the method, and that's what it's going to yield in my mind. I think you think differently.
Why are you mental?
Did you hear that?
Mm.
That's what it's going to yield in my mind.
In his mind, yeah.
He's not expressing it to you at all. He's not going to give you a glimpse of what's going on in his mind. He's not even going to say it's possible. It's just that there is horizontals at a point. Whichever point you're at, that's horizontal. It's shocking. Really.
Really shocking.
Yeah.
You saying that a surveyor can't
I'm not
give
mental. You
me?
need to stop insulting.
Are you saying that a surveyor can't give me a horizontal plane projected over a mile that I'm asking for?
That question, I don't understand your question.
You don't understand my question, right? Let me hang on.
For an answer.
Like, how many times have you said that? He doesn't know what an answer is.
Was it malformed? Did I malform that statement? I don't think I did.
Is it
No, he was
possible
waiting.
for surveyors to do? I mean, like, he doesn't know anything about surveyors, so.
He was waiting for somebody to DM the answer, so he had to restate it.
Do you think so? Do
Oh,
you
yeah,
reckon he's
'cause-
got somebody saving him there in the background?
Yeah, because they will tell him that, a surveyor can establish a horizontal straight line.
You reckon?
Oh, yeah.
I think somebody's already told him they can't. Right, so he's waiting for a higher authority to change his mind, I think.
So,
You don't
let me
understand my
clarify
question.
what I'm answering. Yeah. So
You
what
want
he
me-
can do is, if you have points that are collinear, then they make a horizontal plane by definition.
No.
If
I'm
you have
just
points that
after.
are not
I'm just
collinear-
after one horizontal plane, Mr. Beach.
Yeah, okay, so
Are you
do
saying
know
that? Are you saying
collinear?
that surveyors can't do their job?
What do you mean by that? Listen to what I'm saying. If you have 3 points that are collinear, then you can have a horizontal plane that will touch them all. But if your points are not collinear, then you can have a hard time getting a line to touch them all, much less a plane.
Right, I'll rephrase it.
So in the case of that I described,
Mr.
well, how
Beach,
about this? In the case of the method,
It's like, if you've got 3 points and they're on the horizontal, then
They're horizontal.
yeah, they'll be alright. You'll be able to draw a horizontal line across them. But if you've got 3 points that aren't on the same horizontal, then yeah, you're
Then
going
you
to
won't be
struggle.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the surveyors aren't doing that. It's just the can the surveyors put them other 2 on the horizontal?
Yeah, it's like that word collinear came in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
it
think.
said 2 points, and they said 3 points on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can confuse them with collinear. Try that.
I described for creating the horizontal plane, where you drop a plumb, you find what's parallel to that, perpendicular to that plumb. In the way I understand the shape of the planet, when you drop a plumb in 3 different spots, you're going to get 3 different planes. You understand that?
This is bullshit. This isn't what I want. I want one plane.
I don't know what you want.
projected over- Well, why is this so difficult for you to understand?
I'm
Do you not
bringing
live
the
in real
plums out
world?
again.
You asked me for how to define the plane, and I'm telling you the consequences of how we define the plane.
No, Mr. Beach. I'm telling you, I want one plane projected over 3 stakes at half-mile distances.
What you actually did was say, how would you imagine a surveyor would make a horizontal plane? And I told you.
A horizontal plane.
Would I imagine?
Yeah, that's what you did, right? You went, how would you, Scott, imagine something? And that
For
gives
me.
him free reign, right?
I didn't actually ask him if they could do it in the real world. I asked him to imagine for me if it could be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
But you didn't
Where
go to
is
my
his
board, right? I've got 3 posts separated by half a mile, and then I've put a mark on 6 inches. And then you've got a horizontal plane across there. The visual thing was right there, right? Is it possible to put those marks on that thing? It's in between the water levels as well.
To tell you the truth, I don't think I was watching.
I don't think you were, no, because I was doing all of these drawings for you as you were doing it. I was thinking, why is he not using it? So, yeah, you mustn't have seen it.
A, singular identifier.
So if I make A, right, so if you're standing at a point, you get one plane for that point.
Projected over the 3 points. A plane projected over
you
the
can't,
3
the
points.
method I'm telling you doesn't magically do that. The method I'm telling you gets you a unique...
do that? You're telling me
I'm telling
a
you right now,
surveyor can't do his job.
Listen to what I'm telling you. What it does is give you a unique horizontal plane that's perpendicular to the gravity vector and tangent to the surface.
That's your geometry, nothing to do with gravity. And you're telling me that a surveyor...
I didn't talk about gravity. I didn't say anything about gravity right there.
Vector.
So it's unique? No, I said the plumb line.
You said the gravity vector.
All right, well, then fine. Replace when I say gravity with plumb line. Then if you say that's wrong, I don't care about quibbling. But it's going to give you a horizontal plane is going to be perpendicular to the plumb line. It's going to be tangent to the surface at the point.
Where did you pull a tangent from?
Well, I'm just if we're fixing it in height somewhere.
Why did you just pull a tangent?
I just told you if we're fixing it in height somewhere. It's just helpful. It's equivalent.
Where did you pull a tangent from? Right, we're fixing it at a height somewhere.
We already had.
Well, yeah, but that's what, was it you that was saying that earlier? Somebody was saying that they were checking out tangents. Was it Gods? Checking out tangents, and it's the height, right? So they call it a tangent, even though it's above the surface that it's meant to be touching. Because that's what a tangent is. Right? So he sets the tangent at a height. But that height isn't touching a circle, so it's not a tangent.
Tangent.
I just like that word.
I just love that word. It's the implied sphere or circle, right? It's just implied. It's not actually there, but at least it's somewhere floating around, right? It's imagined. There's an imagined circle there.
It's their imagined horizontal.
Mm.
You know, that tangent that's perpendicular to a radius. That's their horizontal.
It's also their vertical.
Why did you pull a tangent out of your arse?
I told you. It's helpful to know where the height is. If you want to say 6 inches, that's fine too.
Don't need a tangent.
It cuts the...
So he's looking at my board. And it might be the fact that I moved me circle thing that he put tangent, right? He might have seen me big protractor and thought, oh, it's quick, chuck a tangent in there.
So it's your fault.
We are just talking about
it's you that gave you the tangent.
Put the horizontal plane at what height? What height above the plane of the ground would you like to put the plane at? What height?
Doesn't matter.
6 inches, like you said before?
Doesn't matter. 6 inches.
Doesn't matter. Why is tangent not good enough?
6 inches. That'll do.
Okay, so it's not tangent to the ground. It's 6 inches above the ground. Okay, are you happy? Like how can you be so goofy?
We don't have
the method.
How can you be so goofy as to not want to call it a tangent, and you just want to call it a straight line horizontal plane? I mean,
which is what I've been asking for now.
Yeah. Yeah. These are adults, aren't they? You like 3 posts, 1 line. Is it possible horizontal or not?
But how far into this, going to use the term loosely, conversation are we?
About 1:20, 1.5 hours.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
And we still haven't established a horizontal line on 3 posts at mile.
No, I mean, no, this is totally the beginning of the whole thing. This.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just getting into the good stuff here.
What I'm saying is, any normal person, if you'd have said, "I want a horizontal line here to here to here," is it possible?
Yeah, that can be done.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I just
the amount of obfuscation is ridiculous, right? So, for next time, if you're ever saying it, right, let's just ask them, can they draw a line all the way across them, right? A straight line. Do they think that's possible? And then ask them if they can put it in the horizontal position, that straight line. It should be able. I mean, surely they couldn't obfuscate that, could they?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they probably could.
I was going to say you never know.
Put a test on it. Like next time, we'll try that. In order to make it simpler next time for these people, because it obviously is. It's obviously far too complicated being able to draw a straight line across them 3 posts or a horizontal line. So we try and simplify it for these people because they're struggling.
Is it such a complicated question, though?
Not for us, but I mean for certain people, obviously. The people with the condition of
the condition.
Yeah, well, it is. Obviously, there's something that's clouding Scott Veach's mind.
The conditioning.
Yeah. That stopping him from just saying, yeah, I think they could, or nah, I don't think they could. Like, it's one or the other, isn't it? I don't really know that much about surveying. I don't think I could comment on it. Would be a good answer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, would be the honest answer.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. I think he's so smart. He knows how to obfuscate the argument because he knows so much about it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he knows, right? Most grown men know that this is possible, and if you ask if you go up to a random guy that's done any, has been around the world for 30 years and done any work, can we make a horizontal line over a mile with 3 posts? Yeah, sure. I think we can be done, or we can at least hire a surveyor to do it. They wouldn't know how to argue against it, right? Especially. He knows all the arguments.
Well, I mean,
of course he does. He's heard it 1,000,001 times in Gem Zoo, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
you hear that every day, all day, and to say you don't know the curvature rate?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't think they ever like saying that curvature rate myself. They like other people to say it for them. But I mean, you've never heard this yet. This is a prime example of model delusion, right? You say Scott, he's heard all of the arguments and all that. Well, he has, yeah. He's heard all of the arguments and he knows all of the points. But what particularly is driving here is his model is the driving force behind this with everything he says. And I think the problem is that DPO is coming with a reality check, but that doesn't fit on his model, and he knows.
doesn't fit his script either.
Yeah. Doesn't fit his script, and he thinks that he can just sort of tell you that reality. Well, I mean, to him, it is not reality, is it? His model is deluding him, but he thinks his model is much stronger a belief in the model overrides your knowledge of reality.
Yeah.
And that just becomes more and more apparent as this goes on.
I'm telling you.
Don't need a tangent, do
the
we?
method I'm telling. It doesn't matter whether you need it or not. You have to pick a height. I was just giving you a way to measure the height.
So why?
He was just giving you a way of measuring the height. Obviously, you want to measure the height of anything, you use a tangent. Yeah.
Of course you do. Why did you pull a tangent? Why did you pull a tangent out of thin air?
Because we have to give it a height, and I was giving it 0 instead of your 6 inches. But I don't care that much. If you want 6 inches, that's fine. We can
Well,
keep
did
6
I not tell you 6 inches about?
You did. You did. It
minutes
just
ago?
makes more sense to me to say tangent. It's not a trick.
It's
I
not a
don't know
tangent.
why you think
is
it's
it?
so scary.
It's not a tangent.
If you don't
though,
want to make
is
a
it?
tangent, we don't have to. Relax, dude. I've told you that like 9 times.
Mr. Beach, it's
Make
not
it 6
a
inches.
tangent.
Fine. It's above the
We
ground.
are
6
talking
inches.
about-
Okay. Okay. Yes. Hey, primate. It's okay. 6 inches above the ground, not a tangent. Okay. Now, as I was saying.
Well done.
So at any plumb line, we define that line, that horizontal plane, as 6 inches above the ground, perpendicular to the plumb line. Now, I'm telling you that in my model of the world, every time you move, you're going to get a different plane. So you say that's not what I want, but how am I supposed to help with that? That is what I think is reality.
So you are saying that a surveyor cannot do their job properly?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm
Yes,
saying
it is.
that's I'm saying a
want-
surveyor would agree with you.
Shush. A minute. I let you
No,
speak. You let me speak.
Surveyor would agree.
Yeah,
way it
and you got done
works.
speaking, and I started speaking.
let
Tried
me
to get that out
speak.
then.
You are
were
telling
done.
me. You are telling me that a surveyor cannot project a horizontal plane over a mile.
No.
This is
I'm
what a
telling you that
surveyor
this
does
is
for
how-
their work. This is how they earn their living. Not only can they
That's
do
not
it,
what I'm saying.
but they get it millimeter accurate.
You clearly don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is something a surveyor will tell you also. What I'm saying is true.
Oh, so you
and
know
a surveyor
about
would tell
surveying
you it's
now.
true. Oh my God, you're gonna interrupt? Yeah, I know enough about surveying to know that a surveyor would tell you this is true. So
Right.
the way that we're
When he said there, this is true, did he ever say anything?
No.
So when he says, I'm just telling you now that the surveyor is true.
That's why that's why I left the space, because he's meant to fill it with what is true. All he stated that a surveyor will tell you that this is true. And I was
Yeah. I don't understand what they're meant to be saying. It's
it is word salad, wizardry.
yeah. I mean, it is. It's the Jedi mind trick, isn't it? I have already answered that question. The surveyors agree with me. You missed it. And like when you're in the middle of it, it just sounds really bad to say, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. And it's like, that's not a debate. It's so bad, Scott. We need to stop this. I don't know. It's not even a debate. It's a silly, childish.
How many times has he said to me that I'm scared of an adult conversation?
Yeah.
But it's not me that's being the child.
Yeah.
Nah, it was like a daycare center that day. He was running off into the weeds and, just kids swinging from trees, and it was crazy.
I'm trying to get the straight, relevant, honest answers from them, and they're just not coming.
On and on and on. Can we establish a straight line across these things?
finding this plane, we've just dictated it, right? You can imagine how we're doing it. So I don't know if you're not visualizing it properly or what. Now, if the world was actually flat, then it would be the same plane at the 2 points. But because I believe the world to be round, I'm telling you it's going to be a different plane.
Now, did you notice what he said then? If the world was flat, they'd be like this, and because I believe, he adds the believe into to his one. Doesn't add it into the other one.
He says think and believe a lot. Yeah. Very non-committal.
For his model, though, only.
Yeah, he only to his model. He adds the believe.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't say you believe it's flat. He doesn't say that.
He said if the world were flat.
Yeah.
And because I believe in this.
It's a really strange way of him saying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
he's trying to MKUltra you. Really.
I think he has been. He's telling you the belief where the belief is.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, it's interesting.
Have you finished?
I don't know. Have I?
Right. Let me put it to you a different way, Mr. Beach. We have 3 stakes. One at point A, one at half mile, one at a mile.
Here we go.
If I go to the one in the middle
on it.
and draw a line 6 inches above the ground, can I project that line half a mile one way, half a mile the other way, to have a horizontal plane projected at a half mile distance?
You can do it at infinite distance.
So that horizontal plane can now be projected onto those 2 other stakes.
Depends on what you mean by onto those other stakes. If you're close enough to them, they'll intersect the stakes. Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying before you interrupt again, as always.
Are you mental?
If you mean by that you want them to intersect the stakes, then all you have to do is make sure the stakes are tall enough. That's not really what you mean, is it? That's not what you actually want. You don't want just intersection.
That will do.
Okay. So you can intersect any stakes at any distance if they're
Right,
tall.
so can we put that there? A timer mark. 1:28. Scott
Took me an
to establish a straight line across the 3 posts.
An hour and a half to establish a horizontal line over 3 stakes.
Well done. Well, I don't know whether horizontal. Straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight line plane across the 3.
I'm knackered just listening back to it.
yeah, it's exhausting, man. I'll tell you. I think I need to take a break. Been going for almost 3 hours.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah. It's 3 hours 12. So if we do another 10 minutes.
Come on! I only got 2 hours of work left.
That's halfway. Right.
Another 10 minutes.
Another 10 minutes at least of this, and then
I'm going to need a comfort break.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a horizontal plane.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. But
from the centre point,
now
projected at a half mile distance, either way, we have one horizontal plane.
Yes, but it does not intersect perpendicularly to all 3 points, only with the middle point. Maybe if the stakes are tall enough, it'll intersect those stakes at an angle.
It'll intersect those stakes at an angle.
Assuming those stakes are following the plumb line. Is that true?
But they're perpendicular to the horizontal plane we've just formed. Remember?
No,
the plumb line is horizontal, is perpendicular to that.
Only the one in the middle.
The
one in the middle. The ones on the ends would not be perpendicular to it.
You can put a plumb anywhere along a horizontal plane.
The plums are not parallel depending upon where you're standing.
Can you prove this? This is a really bold claim. This is a really bold claim.
This is the same claim that we've been making for like an hour. Where have you been?
It's the same claim you've been making for an hour. And he's talking about the verticals
not being
perpendicular to the horizontal at some point along this line here. The vertical.
I don't remember that claim being made.
No, for half an hour as well. Just half an hour.
Sorry, mate, you roboted out there. Just half an hour. What's half an hour?
That's what he said. For the last half an hour, he's been trying to establish this vertical not being perpendicular to horizontal, or not being perpendicular to the horizontal that you've just established across the post. He's fun, isn't he?
You're saying the plumb lines aren't parallel?
Yes, Primate. I've been saying that for an hour. Where you have, all those times you were talking and not hearing me. That's exactly what I've been telling you. The plumb lines, in my worldview,
on the same
are not parallel.
The same horizontal.
they're not on the same horizontal. If you mean by horizontal that they are perpendicular. Not if that's what you mean by it.
Plane.
If that's not what you mean by it, they are not.
They are on the same horizontal plane.
I don't know what you mean by that phrase unless you're going to define it more specifically. Then you're not making any sense. If you mean that the lines are perpendicular to the plane, then they are not. If you mean that they can intersect them if the stakes are tall enough, then okay. But what does that mean? What value is that?
They intersect the stakes.
Just think it through.
Did you hear his super fast voice thing there then?
Yeah.
And then when he says, "Oh, you can do it. You can think it through," it's like because he just spilled out a load of words that didn't really mean anything, and now he's asking you to try and comprehend what he said. He said something about plumb lines being perpendicular but not being perpendicular at the thing at the same time on the plane that isn't a plane.
Yeah, I was just like, damn.
It's like, how are you meant to unpack that? Because you wouldn't be able to ask him what he just said. I doubt that he'd be able to repeat it.
Not word for word, anyway.
I was just sitting there going, did I take a magic mushroom or something?
Imagine me sitting there trying to, like you say, unpack what he's just said, so that I can give an answer. It is crazy trying to. I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about, because I've said to you that the plumb lines are perpendicular to the horizontal plane. This is what plumb lines are. They are perpendicular to a horizontal.
So that means that there can't be one plane that is perpendicular to all three plumbs in my worldview.
In
this
your
is the difference between our worldviews. You imagine a world where they're all the same.
I'm glad you stated in your
my worldview, where the Earth is a sphere. I've said this like 19 times, dude. You really have been.
So this is just your opinion.
So in my worldview, primate, in my worldview, each of these plumbs are not parallel. They're not the same line, and so each one of them has its own unique horizontal plane associated with it. They're not the same plane. I told you this about 40 times now.
Right. Okay. So you can't put any more perpendiculars to that horizontal.
You can't put any more perpendiculars to the horizontal. You can put as many perpendiculars as you want.
Oh, along the horizontal plane?
Yes, the plane is infinitely big. You can perpendicular anywhere on one.
Right, okay, well done, yeah. I'll go with that.
But those aren't going to be plumbs everywhere. That's the difference.
But a plumb line is perpendicular to the horizontal. So
Only
you've just contradicted yourself, Mr. Beach.
No, I haven't, dude. Those aren't plumb lines. If you make a perpendicular line to the horizontal,
they're not plumb
lines.
That's dear. Oh dear.
Pages proof, right? Vertical like a testicle.
Perpendiculars are not plumb lines.
Yeah, they. How many times do they get?
You guys are gonna make his head explode.
Do you think? I mean, he thinks he's making our head explode by saying that like a perpendicular to a horizontal isn't a plumb.
In his worldview.
In his worldview, but I mean, it is vertical, because vertical is perpendicular to horizontal, but not in his worldview. Not if it's not the right vertical.
And not
for
not
that horizontal.
Or not the right plumb for that point.
He doesn't know what he's saying at this point. But he thinks he's confusing you well enough to get away with it. I might have got away with that one. He'll be saying over at Gems.
It's really funny how they explain it to you like you don't know how freaking idiotic and stupid it is already. I mean, we already know. He doesn't have to explain it to us. We know what he's thinking.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, you don't know our model well enough. I'm going to explain it to you. And it's like, no. We do understand your model. It's fucking ridiculous.
And retarded.
You're going to be forced to say stupid things. Like vertical isn't perpendicular to horizontal.
Yeah.
Yeah. My model, that doesn't work on my model, therefore... Oh,
you are stupid.
That basis, right, is never reality. It's that model.
Yeah, never reality. That's good, that. Yeah. T-shirt, I have the globe. I'll never accept reality.
Yep, I like that.
You
Get to
are
work,
trying
Croppy.
Just listen to yourself.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
sorry.
hard. It's like you've
What
never
we're
done
doing.
geometry.
Slacking.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
I have a globe model. I'll never accept reality. You can't make me.
Find yourself
So take a
in
plane,
Oxford.
right? Let me ask you a question. Take a plane. Listen to yourself. Take a plane. How many different ways can you put a perpendicular line to the plane? How many spots can you do that at?
It's infinite along that plane.
That's right. That's correct. So that's what I'm saying.
And they'll all be plums.
Plane,
They'll
no
all be
matter how you define the
perpendicular.
plane. Hold on. Just listen. No matter how you define the plane, there's an infinite number of places you can put a horizontal line. It doesn't make them all plums, though, does it?
There's an
Because plums
infinite-
is something in the
Hang
real
on.
world. Plum
You
is something that we
said-
actually made and measured.
Whoa, shush. You said there's an infinite
Shush.
amount of places you can
Telling
put
you,
a
you should
horizontal
be
line on a
actually
plane.
mad. I've been kind to you so far. I've been really sweet.
You said there's an infinite amount of places you can put a horizontal line on a plane.
That's
Do you
what
wanna re-
you said to me.
Do you want to restate?
I
your
asked you
statement?
how many spots. I asked you how many spots can you drop a perpendicular line to a
No,
horizontal
you said
plane?
horizontal.
You said infinite.
You said horizontal
You
line
said
on
infinite.
on a plane.
Like, how many times can you drop a perpendicular line to a horizontal plane?
You need me to answer that again?
Well, you just said that's not what I asked. How many places can you drop a perpendicular line that's to a horizontal plane?
Infinite.
Yeah.
You want me
An
to
infinite
say?
number of places, right?
You want me to say infinite
Correct.
again?
Well, do you
'Cause
disagree or
you
agree?
didn't
Infinite?
you didn't get it the first time. Okay.
You just claimed that that's not what I asked. You just said that what I asked was a horizontal to a
No.
horizontal.
You made the statement.
He's doing it again. Stalling for time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stalling big time. Again, for something. I don't know what. Has he made a mistake somewhere? And he's waiting for some confirmation. Like somebody
just
said,
talks shite.
just stall. Stall for a minute while we check that.
He just talks around in circles so people
you can
kind of
have-
lose their way.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
he
that's
think-
what he was trying to do with me there, was talk around in circles.
Well, yeah, I think he spotted that he made a mistake. He wasn't sure about the infinite perpendiculars on a
Horizontal.
yeah.
Well, I
But
think he
he's-
was conflating two different things. Like he thought domestic DP was agreeing with him because he's talking about the perpendicular plumbs being never parallel. And when he was asking if there can be infinite horizontals, DP saying, yeah, there's infinite horizontals. That's fine. You can make as many as you want. But he's conflating two different understandings.
Yeah.
Because his is delusional. He thinks that those plumbs will never be parallel.
Yeah,
And
see,
only.
geometrically what he's done is he's asking you if you can make a perpendicular on that horizontal. Well, like, the answer to that is yes, and it will always be a vertical. Now, he will say you can have the perpendiculars, but they can't be plumb, he's saying, right? Because plumb's the real world thing, and vertical is always perpendicular. But the thing is, a plumb is also vertical. So
Right.
you've got the Page's proof type scenario where there's the perpendicular to horizontal being vertical, and a plumb being vertical. But the two verticals of the perpendicular and the thing are not the same.
Yeah, to them,
Yeah,
they're not the same.
they've got a contradiction of the two
Yeah.
verticals, but
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that is what
which
he's playing with his head.
Yeah. I think that's what he realised there at that sort of point, and he's now flirting about with to get some, I don't know, get a bit of breathing space away from
An
that
infinite amount
particular
of
argument.
horizontals to a horizontal
You
plane.
can't. I don't think I did, but if I did, I was talking about perpendiculars. Although technically that's true. Also, you can have an infinite number.
Yeah, but it's not
of horizontal
what we're
lines while
talking
playing
about, is
through.
it? It may well be true.
I
but it's
agree.
not
I
what
agree.
we're
So
talking about.
clearly, I meant perpendicular. If I even did that, it's unclear to me. at this point, whether
Can you do
being
me a
honest.
favour? Can you actually state what you mean next time? Thank you.
Yes. How many places can you drop a perpendicular line on a horizontal plane? An infinite
Again?
number of places.
An infinite. Thank you.
That's what I'm telling you. So if that's the case,
you don't need
they're
to,
not
you don't
all
need to tell
plums.
me. I know that, but they are all.
Well, you don't seem to know that because you think
You should have used vertical, right? Perpendicular to horizontal is vertical. You flip and flop between the plumb and the vertical.
He's speaking so fast.
I know,
and
it's like a machine gun, isn't it? When you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, trying to do the mental gymnastics, trying to figure out.
Yeah,
what
now he's got to
saying.
call his dad and be like, "Why'd you lie to me?"
So they're all now plums, and they're
A
not. They're not all
perpendicular
plums,
to
right?
the horizontal
You understand
is
that?
a plumb line.
No, it's not all plums. Plums are something in the real world.
You're mental.
So, no, I'm not. Listen, we have an infinitely wide horizontal plane, and we can drop. That means it's infinitely wide. That means it goes all the way out to Alpha Centauri. Are you telling me that you think that if you find a perpendicular line to Alpha Centauri, it's a plumb line?
You give him his space for a
You call
bit.
that a plumb line?
Alpha where?
Alpha Centauri. You call that a plumb line?
To where?
I said Alpha Centauri. You call that a plumb line? Is that what you would call a plumb line way out
Where's
there?
that? Is that
Did you hear that one? It's like Alpha Centauri. You call that a plumb line? It's like as though it was his argument. I had to put that back again because that is.
He probably did that for probably a good 5 minutes.
Yeah,
where
yeah. It's good.
I remember exactly where I was, and I went a long way driving, listening to that.
Horizontal plane, and we can drop. That means it's infinitely wide. That means it goes all the way out to Alpha Centauri. Are you telling me that you think that if you find
That's
a
a where?
perpendicular line to that plane at Alpha Centauri, it's a plumb line? And I'm
Out to
mental?
where?
You call that a plumb line?
Out to where?
Alpha Centauri. You call that a plumb line?
To where?
I said Alpha Centauri. You call that a plumb line? Is that
I
what you call
haven't
a plumb
cut
line
that
way out
at
there?
all. That's exactly what he did, right? I haven't been messing about with any of that audio to make it sound that stupid. That's actually what he did.
He even said it like a
Really?
child the second time.
I just felt like I had him like a yo-yo. It was just like, up to where?
I was like,
To where?
what is going on? Oh,
Yeah.
it's like a badly cut video.
Well, he wanted to take you into space, and he said, "No, I'm not
You
going."
can't write it better than that.
He knew what
I
he
was
was.
nearly wetting myself listening to that. Out to where?
Evening page.
Oh my God, he never stops. It's like I don't know, 12 times maybe.
He's still going,
Let's
I
focus on the
think.
question. Stop obfuscating.
I'm asking
Would you call
where
that a plumb
you
line?
want that horizontal plane
If
to go.
you would call it a plumb line, just
is that
say
in
it so I can
Chicago?
know how mental you are. No, it's not. It's pretty far away. Would you call that a plumb line or
How
not,
far
dude?
away is that?
I don't know. It's far. Would you call it a plumb line or not?
Is it perpendicular to a horizontal
primate.
plane?
This is who you are, isn't it?
Is
This
it
is who you are, laid bare, right here.
Is it
This is who you are, laid bare.
perpendicular to a horizontal plane?
Yeah, it's a perpendicular horizontal
Well,
plane
it's a
we
plumb
defined.
line. It's a plumb then, isn't it?
You're crazy. You're the crazy one then.
He went through
You're
all of
laid bare
that.
now, DP. Laid bare.
Right here. Right here.
Oh.
Man.
He has got to be like speeding off his head or something. He's going a million miles an hour. Like the whole time, the whole 3 hours.
Yeah.
He's had way too many coffees or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but I did ask him within the first 10 minutes of the conversation if he'd done amphetamines, because he was like, no, this is how I talk, you'll have to keep up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was full on. Congratulations how you got through that. That was amazing. The amount of times I face palmed, I just about gave myself 2 black eyes during
Well, I think, should we call that, like, because that is genius at that point. I think I might click this, share the video and put it out, right? And then tomorrow we'll go over the last half of it, hour and a half. And this is gold. This is absolute gold coming up from here. DP set him up from this point on. So if anybody wants to watch it, I will. I'll put it out. I'll put it out live, and then they can watch it.
I must say though, I did have fun. It was tiring, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really exciting. Actually, at the time, you know, it was like.
Oh, that first bit was a nightmare to try and sit through.
But it had to be done. Though,
yeah. It needed to do it, and we got there in the end. So it's like a battle of attrition that's going on at the minute. The setup is a long, like you done 4 hours work trying to get him to come over. He did come over, and then another solid hour and a half of dealing with some of the most strongest obfuscation I've ever seen of anyone.
Obfuscation and inane bullshit.
Yeah, with no moderator, right? No moderation, no nothing. Not that any moderation would ever have played it. Probably would have hindered it, wouldn't it? With a proper moderation going on at
Probably.
that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. DP, the rise of a legend, right? Not only memes. Yeah, I love it. So anybody, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you did a great job, DP.
Nice one. Yeah, cheers.
I'm gonna be shutting this live stream down in a short while. I'll put that video out. Anybody wants to watch the video, to go over it.
There's a thumbnail. You got the thumbnail that I did for you earlier.
Yeah, it should be already on the video, I think, when I put it out.
Lovely job.
And I will be we'll be going over the rest of this tomorrow. Now, if you want to watch it and get involved and listen to it and come in and have a chat about it tomorrow, feel free. Just have a watch of this video, because this is gold. As far as I'm concerned, this is one of the best.
Yeah, it's the son of a astronaut, you know. You know, in this arena, if it's a real thing, I don't know. I think that's pretty impressive.
Who's got open mic?
It's about as big as it gets.
Sorry, that was me. I just.
No, that's all right, Paige.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, if it's really a son of a NASA astronaut and we're discussing these topics with him, I think that is, you know, kind of cool. You know,
yeah, it was good of him to come over and at least try and have the conversation, the discussion. But, you know, obviously it's just somewhere that his head won't let him go.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, I mean,
He realised the verticals on that hump model. That's exactly what I wanted to bring up with Bev, was that the verticals, when he draws the drop model and then the hump model, the little verticals on the hump model are our verticals, not their verticals. And he actually picked up on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that angle matters to the water anyway, within the water level, but I guess that's what they're going to have to play with.
Either.
Yeah, that's advanced, isn't it? Advanced reality. They're not quite ready for that yet.
Not quite ready.
They're still on the model. Yeah. They're still standing, doing the circus act on a model.
Mm-hmm.
He even said, "I have to believe that," like in response to something. Something about the flat Earth, and then, but I have to think that it's this way.
Is that tomorrow's? Don't be giving away the spoilers page. We've not got to that yet.
Oh, sorry.
That's tomorrow's work. We give
All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and shut down my YouTube side here.
Yeah, I need to take a comfort break, so I'll be back.
Fine. I'm going to get out of here too.
All right, good night, guys.
The
I'll see you tomorrow,
party
then.
in Discord will still be going on. We're just stopping the live stream.
Yeah, well.